We are glad you are with us, and today it's not totally done, but it's getting there. It's getting there. The new studio is all but complete. There's a lot of some echoing stuff that has to be taken care of. There's going to be some new sound baffling and stuff that goes in, stuff that you're not going to be really to see, but it'll make a difference in the sound quality. But today, now sitting here in the new Bud Light live stream studio, and brought to you by New Mail Medical. Oh my God, New Mail Medical, they had sent me a backdrop. And remember, we were talking about whether or not it would be one of those giant inflatable, things, we'll say, junk. Instead, they said, well, we'll send you a backdrop instead. Oh my God, it's as big as my house. So for those following on the live stream, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show, 877-867-1670. If you want to follow us over there on Twitter, you can do so at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us on Twitch TV and on YouTube, simply Bill Michaels, just, Michael. Let's just find Bill Michaels. And you can do it over on the Facebook fan page and the live stream there as well, which is facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. But, man, it is, holy mackerel. It is, it's big. And it's got that new studio smell. I'm excited today. Up until last night, I got to give props to the guys at Spectrum and Spectrum Cable and all the business internet and everything they ran in for this place today, because they got here this morning at 7 a.m. to finish this stuff up. So thanks to them for helping out and getting it up and running today, because we needed to make the switch. Once we pulled the plugs on everything yesterday, we needed to make the switch, and now it looks better. It's not nearly as bright. It's got a better sound to it. And all new gear, Guitar Center, actually. Worked with Guitar Center on a lot of the microphones, had some of the booms and stuff shipped in. So thanks to everybody. I mean, it was a labor of love on many different facets. And we got room in here for guests now. How about that? We have room in here for guests. So I don't know where we're going to make the green room, but if you're looking at the stream, off to my right, your left on the stream, over in the chair that's kind of visible, that is an area that you can sit in. It's got the TVs are on the wall. TV is on the wall. It's going to eventually be two, but the TV's now up on the wall. They ran everything last night. All the cabling and everything is off of it. We still are waiting for a few more furniture pieces in here, but it's pretty cool. It's nice, and all this is just built. So new smell. Well, that being said, the new salary cap is $182.5 million. The Packers still need to get under. They still have some work to do. Now they have a lot of opportunities, don't get me wrong, because the Packers, where they sit right now, they're $9,679,306 over the cap. So now the real work begins, because now you got to figure out a couple of different things. One, you have to figure out what you're going to do at running back. Is running back going to be Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon? Are you going to let Jamal Williams hit free agency and go? What are you going to do there? Obviously, now 11 years in a row in which the Green Bay Packers have not used the franchise tag. In addition to that, you figure out what you're going to do as far as restructuring contracts. Now, Za'Darius Smith tweeting out he wants to be a Packer for life. This is it. This is his place. This is where he wants to be. So he's now talking about wanting to be a Green Bay Packer for life. So that being said, what do you do with Za'Darius Smith's contract? Do you go ahead and restructure it? He's 28, 29 years old. He would not be a bad candidate to do so. But it all begins and ends with Aaron Rodgers. It's right back to where we were yesterday. It's right back to where we were the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. So it is going to be, obviously, Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball sitting down, trying to figure out what they're going to do as far as salary cap goes. So any word if they extend Aziz's contract? That's from our buddy Jim chiming in. Jim, welcome to the program. Not yet. We're waiting to find out if they're going to do that. And who else they might end up cutting before it's all said and done. Preston Smith, a candidate to be either, if they're shopping him, chances are they're probably going to cut him loose and save $8 million. You would assume a guy like Dean Lowry, who did not live up to expectation last year and going to be a $6.3 million cap hit this year. That guy would probably be a June 1st cut. Beyond that, maybe they make a little more space, but you still have to restructure or extend Devontae Adams. Jair Alexander needs to be extended. So they've got some work to do. They have some work to do. But we are now, if you are a Packers fan, you are on Russell Wilson watch. What does that mean? Because there is more and more and more discussion as to whether or not he is going to end up in a Bears uniform, believe it or not. There's 4 trade proposals that people say make sense to get Russell Wilson out of Seattle. And the first one, first of all, you got to get Russell Wilson as far away as you can, as they say, from Seattle. So it seems to be that the Seahawks, if they don't want to face him, they want to face him as infrequently as possible. So you ship him off to an NFC team, one, not in your division, or an AFC team. They need to have a quarterback plan in place after they make the deal. That's first and foremost. They can't ask for a much less than what the Texans are going to ask for Watson. I mean, Russell Wilson's not only a proven quarterback, but a Super Bowl winning quarterback on top of that. So there's many things that you're going to have to take on when it comes to trading Russell Wilson, if indeed that's the philosophy. You know, one of the most puzzling and frustrating struggles in the league is in, say, Minnesota. Vikings coach Mike Zimmer publicly insisted that his team's focus is on running the football, okay? Even to the extent of firing the offensive coordinator, Joe DeFilippo. At the same time, the Vikings have had a pair of star receivers in Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, or Justin Jefferson. And more notably, they've spent $84 million on Kirk Cousins over the past 3 years, and they're going to pay him $64 million more between 2022 and 2023. So if you're going to be 100% the run, then what are you doing? Because you're spending a ton of money on quarterback play and on wide receivers and bringing in new wide receivers. So is that your philosophy? So the first one would be, is say, if the Seahawks would trade him to the AFC. And if you really believe, say, a guy like Tua would be the guy, then you make a trade. So you get Tua and then some picks in this year's draft, and maybe the first round pick in 2022, something like that. Offer number 2 would be send him to the Raiders because I know they want to make a deal. You get maybe Marcus Mariota. You get a couple of different players in that deal. Maybe you may do a 3-team deal. I know they've got that labeled out in ESPN, where then Derek Carr would end up. You get the Patriots involved, and Derek Carr would end up going to quarterback the Patriots, and then the Seahawks get some other picks along the way, and that way the Patriots get a new quarterback. You've got offer number 3, where they would send him over to the Panthers. The Panthers are thinking about moving on from Teddy Bridgewater. So maybe you get Teddy Bridgewater in return, and you make him your new quarterback in Seattle. There is discussion that it could be many different trades that the Bears could be in on, where the Bears could be in and get eventually Russell Wilson. What would they trade away? What defensive pieces would they have to trade away? But then it would leave Seattle basically without a quarterback, unless you go in that direction. So there is discussion as to what, I mean, I know I was listening to Chicago radio this morning, and they're excited as to whether or not they're going to get Russell Wilson, if it's a real possibility or not, but that's something that's looming out there. So as a Packers fan, you then kind of pay attention to what's going on south of the border, because if Russell Wilson comes into the division, that changes the outlook for the Bears dramatically. And that's the reason the Bears fans specifically are so excited about it. Ronald says Jones is going to end up in Miami, which is a good likelihood. You're probably right, Ronald. I don't doubt that. Jim, morning to you. Top of the morning to you. This one's from Nick, who says, liking the color. Yeah, the backdrop of the new studio has gone from the bright tans, light tans, almost an eggshell, to and I liked it. I wanted it to feel kind of the stoic office, so to speak, but also I love the up north. I love the Northwoods. I love rustic furniture, and I love leathers and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I wanted. So it went to more of a pine green. And there's going to be other things that are going to be added. I have, and James says, what about all the memorabilia? There's a bunch of it over on the wall, and you can't see it. There's only so much room to put stuff on the desk. but all of my helmets are downstairs and they have not been unboxed yet. So literally, and I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. We were scrambling to get on the air probably 35 minutes ago. About 35 minutes ago, we were still testing lines and making sure things were working. And so for maybe as good as it sounds or maybe as good as it looks, it is still a work in progress. It is not done yet. But what I can't wait for is to be able to turn the camera a little bit and have a guest in studio here. I set this up, and I know Ebo is back in our studio in Madison. Ebo, I set this up last night, and I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, you're here in the command center, but you got Rowdy sitting here next to you. You could bring him with you.
Bill, I'm looking right now at the live stream. I got to say, first of all, the thing you see, the new Male Medical banner is gigantic. Oh, my God. And then, of course, I'm distracted by your beautiful girlfriend, but that is palatial, Bill. You're bringing it here. It's looking good in that studio. I could bring Rowdy. Yeah. We'll just put him in the corner. You got a nice corner for him to sit in? I got
a corner. He can sit right in the corner. He can sit, and the neat thing is that the microphone and the booms and stuff are transferable, so they can go to the other side where Rowdy could even sit in the big chair if he wanted to, and then have control of the big screen on the wall. So you guys could be kicking back, watching the tournament and enjoying yourselves and still be able to do the show.
Bill, I mean, I'm very impressed right now. I see the WBA awards up there as well. Looking good.
Got a few of those. Yeah.
Wow. You've inspired me because I've been slowly doing my studio at home as well. I'm probably like 70% done. You've inspired me, Bill. I just need to get new mail to send me a banner too.
It was funny because I said, if you can do it about 80 inches high, which is about as tall as a door, about 80 inches high and about 36 inches wide, that'd be great. This thing is 4.5 to 5 feet wide. And it goes all the way up to my ceiling. It's huge. It's like a wall. When it arrived, I had no idea what the hell it was. I'm like, what did I order? This is ridiculous. And I think that's the
testament to new Male Medical, right?
As they say, new Male Medical, I guess bigger is better, right? But but holy mackerel, this thing is. I mean, it blocks. It's like an eclipse. I can't even see the yard anymore. And I set this up specifically so I could see the yard. Out of the patio doors, I can see the tiki bar straight ahead of me, which the camera is behind it. That thing is enormous. And Bud Light is still sending us stuff. So I've got Bud Light banners coming too. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put them because that's huge. So anyway, but yeah, it's does it sound okay? Does it sound better today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can tell that you got some different mics in there, but it's sounding good, unit. Sounding good. That's a nice setup you got there.
Yeah, it's and then kudos to Trevor, by the way. Our guy Trevor back there, our engineer, who put this whole crazy case and everything together over here.
He's a wizard.
Yeah, he's going to come out to the house because I think he just wants to come here because he like wants to work on the box and work on a few things. You know how the engineers are; they're always technical and they always hear something that nobody else hears. But I think he wants to take the box downstairs into the bar and say, "I'll work on it down there." So. I got a weekend with Trevor coming up too.
Here we go, Bill. I mean, obviously we all want to come because you keep talking about the wagon wheel. We want to go drink you dry. And Fred here on Twitch says my banner will be for Uggs. Fred, yes, I'll sell out for Uggs, no problem, my friend.
Do some Uggs banners. That's not a bad way to go. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. You got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
1670. There you go. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. This is Mark. Mark writes, he says, Zadarius Smith says he wants to be a Green Bay Packer for life. Do you extend him and then keep him around for another 4.5, 5 years before you end up cutting him loose? You would end up cutting him in 4 years when that cap number would get big, if indeed that's the direction you want to go. I would extend to Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith, what, 28, 29 years old, something like that. I would go ahead and restructure that deal. He would give you some cap flexibility. You could move it down the road a little bit. He wants to be here. The only thing that scares me is the knee. How many times a year does he go down and you hold your breath and you're like, oh my God, Zadarius Smith is down. And he's the one defender. Just when he's starting to have a really good game, he always goes down with an injury. But he goes to the sideline, he shakes it off, and he comes back. I mean, I don't know if they shoot him up. I don't know what they do, but he seems to go down. But I'll tell you this. The time that I spent with him last year, we were in Miami last year for the Super Bowl. And the time that I spent with him, and him and his wife, we were at an event together. The time that I spent with him and his wife was really eye-opening. And it was eye-opening in the sense that he really, genuinely wants to win. He wants a championship. He wants to be a Packer. He loves the culture. He loves the people. And man is imposing. Thank you, Fred. He turns 29. So I was right. Okay, cool. Thank you. I knew he was under 30. I knew he was pressing on 30. But he turns 29 this year. So yeah, I would extend him. I'd take him out to 32, 33 years old for sure. But that man is that man's a physical specimen. So if he can just hold up and just keep his quickness, yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Because that's a guy that genuinely wants to be here. Now, I don't know what the attitude is with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he has changed. I don't know if his thoughts has shifted from I want to be a Packer for life to I know I'm not going to be a Packer for life, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I know if he wants to be a Packer for life and if this guy wants to remain here, now you're going to have to eventually push comes to shove when you're talking about how much money do you want to make versus how much more winning do you have left in you. But if Rodgers still, his intent is to be here, then I think that's the direction you go. That you go ahead, restructure him. And I know all the talk this morning was about Jordan Love. Got to get him reps. Got to get him snaps. Brian Gutekunst said they got to use him a lot more. Well, that's fine. But is he your quarterback of the future or is he not? You know? Because if he's not, then package him up. Move on. Keep Tim Boyle around, figure something else down the road, and worry about it then. I'm not you can't. It's kind of like, this is the way I look at it. It's kind of like you've got a girl that you're dating, okay, and she's everything you want, but you don't know if you're going to stay with her the rest of your life. You know, she's everything you want, but you're not sure if you're going to be there. Meanwhile, you got a new girl that comes along, and you're kind of like, wow, she's got everything. I just don't know, or at least seems to have everything. I just don't know if I want to date her or not. I don't know if I want to break it off with the other girl because she's a sure thing and she's everything I want, but something's piquing my interest and I want to go in this direction. And, you know, I don't know. Yeah. And you're going back and forth. Eventually it's like, just commit to one of the two, you know, just commit. Just commit. Either spend your life with the girl that's been there, done that for you, that you know exactly what you have. You both get along. She's unbelievable, performs extremely well, versus the new hot flavor of the month. You know, you don't even know if she's got the intellect to be able to kind of match wits with what it is you want her to do. You know what I mean? That type of thing. You can't date both. You got to do one or the other. So I think that's right now what Brian Gutekunst and Russ Ball are trying to figure out. What do you want to do? How long do you want to extend Aaron Rodgers? How do you want to restructure him? Because eventually you're going to have to make that decision. And what you don't want to do is have Jordan Love suddenly be looking at the end of his rookie deal. Now you can extend Jordan Love. You can pick up that 5th-year option. You can then, hang on to him for another year, franchise him if you need to or whatever. And not that you want to do that for an unproven quarterback, but there's ways to hang on to him. But the only way, and Fred says, well, play Love in the preseason, then package him in a trade. Here's the problem with that. What if he plays like crap? What if the rumors, the very soft rumors that are circulating out there are true? And he really, he doesn't have that look yet. He's extremely raw. What if those rumors, what if all that rumor is true? And he's not the guy. You know, he's not a future Hall of Famer. He's not a sure thing. And he's really, really, really raw. Then what? You know? No, and you expose him to the world. You say, okay, look at the quarterback that we have. And he plays terribly. He can't read defenses. He's not accurate. You know, he's really raw. You can see something there, the reason they drafted him, but he's really raw. Okay? Then what? What team's going to want him? Not as a starter, because you know he's the same thing there. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Packers do. To me, I'm of the essence of let's move. Go with Aaron Rodgers, get it done, and go from there. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Jack says a couple of different things. He says, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback we've ever had. Why in the world would Gutekunst or anybody else for that matter want to move on from the guy? Yes, he makes a lot of money, but can't we renegotiate that and bring it down a little bit? And then he understands why we need to do it. That's putting a better team around him. Number two, what do you think of the Badgers' chances tomorrow night? Well, I don't know as of yet because they split with Penn State in the regular season. So we'll see what happens between Penn State and Nebraska, and then they play the winner of that, obviously. But I do want to talk some Badgers when we come back after the bottom of the hour, because I think there's a couple of things here to discuss specifically. And when it comes to the Badgers and when it comes to Greg Gard, I think, and I've over the last 24, 48 hours, really since the beginning of the week, but been a lot of emails, a lot of tweets and stuff like that about the Badger basketball program. And I want to address that when we come back, because I think there's something to be said for what Greg Gard has done. And I want to get into that when we come back. Hang in there. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
High fives, Wisconsin.
Gina Della from Pella, what's the celebration?
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin was just named NARI's Distributor of the Year.
That's a big deal.
You're not kidding, but there's more. The International Builder Show just named Pella's new Easy Slide Operator Best Window and Door Product of the Year.
Another Pella innovation that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows with an easy slide.
A real blessing for those with hand and wrist issues.
Why crank your windows when you can easy slide, right?
But there's still more.
Oh, you mean based on the 2019 Consumer Survey on leading national brands that Pella is rated #1 for highest value, highest quality.
Yes, but there's still more. Now get 5 years, no interest, plus 5 months, no first payment.
Pella now, pay later. High fives all around.
But only through March 31st. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
So thanks to everybody for listening to the program. Certainly appreciate it. And we are also on Twitch. We are also on YouTube. If you want to follow us on the Bud Light live stream, you can track us down there. You can follow me on Facebook, The Bill Michaels Show over on Facebook, The Bill Michaels Show over on Facebook. And then there's Twitter. That's at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Track us down over there. I got a couple of different ones. This one's from Sam. Sam says, Wilson and Robinson in Chicago will be a formidable duo along with Montgomery, who I feel is a solid running back. However, the fact that they would have to deplete their defense, probably losing Mack, would hurt them. Wilson can't do it by himself. It'd be just hard in Chicago. I agree. And there's been some talk about it would take both Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith to be able to get that deal done. So I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you, but I agree with you. If you put Russell Wilson into the mix, how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers take a team that did not have a great defense and make them into something and take them far. Russell Wilson could do the same thing. I think Russell Wilson is a very good quarterback. I don't know if he's technically as good as, we'll say, Aaron Rodgers, but he's still an incredibly good quarterback. So, but yeah, I agree. I think that it would be incredibly formidable down there if that indeed did happen. If it did happen. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Taking your calls. That's simple. This one's from Cassidy. Cassidy says, hey, saw your post on Facebook. My friend is a landscape lighting expert. If you need somebody, let me know. Also, do you think that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to make any kind of a deal here soon? No, and thank you. I just don't. Who they going to? Maybe they do, but who are they going to get rid of? Unless there's somebody that, unless there is somebody that is, there's no expiring contracts. So what are you going to do? You know? What are you going to do? Who do you want off of this team? If you're another team sitting out there, if you have an expiring contract and you're in a rebuild and you just want to get rid of some money at the end of the season, that's one thing. But you don't have expiring contracts that are worth anything on this team. You're kind of up against it right now. So that's why I don't think they're going to make a deal. And as far as the landscape lighting company, yes, if you saw that, appreciate it. Yeah, my patio. I got landscape accent lighting out there, Volt landscape lighting, and it just for whatever reason went out, and I can't figure it out. And I had a lighting or an electric company come over, and they quoted me like $4,000, and I'm not doing that. I just want to find out where the bad wire is. So if there's a landscape lighting company out there, yeah, I was looking for that. Put that out there today on Facebook. Mark writes in the email inbox, and he says, hey, Bill, I think the Green Bay Packers are going to bring back Jamal Williams. What do you think he's worth? Would $4 million a year do it? Yeah, I think that would do it. Yes. Because he's not a full-time guy. Now, you're not going to go much higher than that, but he may, because he did run pretty well. He may end up getting more money. But if you can get him for $4 million, I'd do it. But again, you're going to have to, you're going to have to do some finagling. You need to make some money right now, and you're going to have to figure out what contracts you're going to want to restructure. Daniel says, I think the Packers are in a terrific position. The NFC North is very bad right now. I think they can win the North, but they're still not going to win the NFC the way they sit. Aaron Rodgers is going to take them far again, but we're going to see a wash, rinse, and repeat. I've said that for a long time now, last couple of years. I agree with you. Completely agree with you. I don't think they're good enough to win the NFC. I think they're one of the top three teams, though, and injuries could play a part of that. You don't want to hope for injuries, but the injuries could play a part of that, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at the top teams in the NFC right now, I think what they've done in L.A. with the Rams, I think the Rams have bolstered themselves by picking up Matthew Stafford. Now we'll see if Matthew Stafford is the real deal. If with a better team and a better circumstance, if he now becomes the real deal, we'll see. If Tampa Bay is able to retain some of their guys and recapture some of the magic, I still think they're a top team. However, you don't see teams repeat. The last team to repeat, I think, was Tom Brady and company, or at least to get back there in back-to-back years. So I still think they're a powerhouse, though. I still think that they have the capability to win. Then who? New Orleans in salary cap jail. I don't think anybody out of the East is very good. Seattle, maybe if they go out and find themselves a defense. So, and who knows what San Francisco is going to be, because San Francisco was so banged up. They lost, 10 guys to season-ending injuries last year, including Bosa. They had a number of guys, including Garoppolo. They lost him for a majority of the season. So San Francisco may turn out to be better. I still think Arizona is going to be good. So the West, and then the Buccaneers and the Packers. Does that sound about right? Nobody in the East scares us, right? That's it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Zach over on Twitter hitting us up at Bill_Michaels. Said, what about Greg Gard? I know you were going to mention that. Did I miss it? No, I wanted to talk about this. So, and I'm going to continue this into the next segment, but they're going to go into this game tomorrow night, and I'm watching it for a couple of different things. One, to see the same type of effort that we saw the other day in Iowa. That's the first and foremost. But I think what happened in everything that went on with Bo Borowski, the officiating, Davison, all of it, and the fact that you heard everybody, not just the coach, but everybody that was interviewed, talk about how they got jobbed by the ref. I think Greg Gard, not only did he go do a really great job of sticking up for his guys, he went a long way in sticking up for his guys and saying, okay, we're going to rally the troops. But what he did, in essence, was brilliant. You got nothing left to lose. You needed something to bring it together, because at the beginning of the season, if you had to say, is this a good season for the Badgers or a bad season? This is a horrendously disappointing season for the Badgers. I would say probably for them in that locker room as much as for the fans, for what the expectations were and what reality is right now. Okay. So let's move that for a minute. But and it's been more shooting than it has been anything. We all know that. That's master of the obvious. But I think what Greg Gard did in going after the officials, mentioning ESPN, the replay, going to the monitors, and then sticking up for his guy, I think that could be one of those galvanizing moments where basically he told them in that locker room, he said it publicly and he said it behind closed doors. It's us against the world. One for all for one. It's us against the world. They're beating us down. They're taking away what it is we're working so hard for. So now it's us against them. And I think that is brilliant. I mean, it's warranted, but it's brilliant, because you're either going to galvanize your team to it's kind of like going back to, and I hate to put it in this vernacular, but this is kind of what it is. The movie Major League. We just need something to bring it all together. I think that's what it is. You could kind of feel the energy. You could feel the hustle. They haven't been hitting their shots, but they need something to bring piece that they needed to rip off the poster of Bo Borowski, I guess. Not that you'll see that guy naked, but to rip that piece off of whatever puzzle it is they're going to start to dismantle, if you watch the movie Major League, to bring it all together. They needed something. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be watching to see if they come out with a us against the world mentality. One for all for one. We are here to do nothing but to kick your ass. And that's the mentality they should have. If they come out and they look flustered, they look frustrated, they're not hitting shots, and their defense begins to suffer because of it, it was all for nothing. It doesn't matter. It was all for nothing. But if they come out tomorrow night like their hair is on fire, they hit a couple of shots, they get energized, and they are over the top emotional tomorrow night, look out. Because with as many veterans on that team as they have, they could become a very formidable team getting to the tournament. Does that make sense? I think what Greg Gard did in standing up for his kids, and I hate to say kids because, you know, when we all hit 20 years old, we all think of ourselves as an adult, right? But what he did in standing up for his guys, I think bought him a lot of credibility behind closed doors. If he didn't have it or was losing it or it was eroding or whatever you want to say, I think that went a long way in buying him credibility behind closed doors. I've seen it happen before, where a coach will go out on a limb and just explode or just step away from himself, but do it in a way that it's genuine, like Gard did, sticking up for Davison. And then things begin to fall into place. And it was just something that they needed. I said that a while ago. They just need something, whether it's just getting away from the woes, go bowling, go do something, go throw axes in a bar, whatever it happens to be, go do something. Something else other than basketball, something that brings the team together. And that's what Greg Gard did. So kudos to Greg Gard. Now, it'll be very, very short-lived if you go out tomorrow night and you get a win and you do it poorly or you lose. Then it was all for nothing. It doesn't matter, because then the last card that you had to play in your hand was a 2, and you threw it on the table and everybody laughed at you and said it was no big deal. So we'll wait and see. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on broadcasting live out of the Bud Light live stream studio. Also, we're brought to you by our friends at Quick Trip, the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Glad to have you along for the ride today. Got a lot of different things still to get to. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later on, we're going to talk some more Brewers baseball. Brewers back at it again today. We should see Josh Hader on today. So, looking forward to that. And in addition to that, we're going to talk a little bit more about the salary cap coming up and Badger basketball, March Madness, the tournament getting ready to get underway. Selection Sunday coming up on Sunday. Looking forward to that and where the Badgers are going to end up. They need a couple of wins and solidify themselves into a pretty good seed. And obviously they're going to be in Indianapolis, so it's not like they have to worry about where they're going, so to speak. But with everything taking place down there, which I'm all for. I'm looking forward to that. With all of those games being played in one vicinity, if you will. I like that. I don't know about you, but I like that. I mean, I know it doesn't bode well financially for many of the cities that were on the docket to host rounds of the NCAA tournament, but I've always said Indianapolis is like Championship City. If you've never been there for big games, downtown is amazing. They've got the Five Corners down there where it connects the downtown mall, the hotels, the convention center. I think even Lucas Oil Field, I think, is in on that now, where you don't even have to go outside. It's all inside. It's all walkways and such. But the fact that they're going to play it at Butler Fieldhouse, they're going to play it where the Pacers play, they're going to play it in Bloomington, they're going to play it in West Lafayette. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. It should be a lot of fun down in Indianapolis. A lot of energy down in Indianapolis as well. So should be pretty good. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Yes, the NFL and the NFLPA today set the cap of $182.5 million per team for 2021. Long anticipated 8% decrease from last season. The drop-off is going to force teams, we all know, to make some roster decisions. But cap limits had risen in every year since 2011 in conjunction with the rising league revenues, but a 92% drop in attendance, 92% during the pandemic led to reduced revenues. We all know that. The NFL and the NFLPA agreed last summer that the cap would be no lower than $175 million. And last month they informed teams that it would be at least $180 million. It was $198.2 million going back to 2020. And in previous years, the final number is a result of the negotiations between the league and the union. So we'll see. We'll see what happens coming up in the next few years. So teams, by the way, must be in compliance with the cap by March 17th at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Central Time. Now, remember that. So something has to happen because they have to either restructure or make cuts by 3 o'clock Central Time Sunday. So you're going to hear about deals being made here. Restructuring happening, cuts being made, people on the open market. So right now, between now and 3 o'clock Central on Sunday, really probably on Saturday, between now and Saturday, you're going to hear a flurry of deals done. And a flurry of people that are either on the open market or that have restructured their deals to stay. A flurry of that's going to happen. So it's going to be quite exciting in the NFL over the next few days. And you're going to get a really good look at what the Green Bay Packers are going to do, or going to have, should I say, going into free agency. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Stanford says, I think that the Packers are going to end up with about $20 million to spend. Where do they spend it? That's the big question. We can give Brian Gutekunst all the money, but if he doesn't make the right moves, it is all for naught. You're right. You're 100% correct. You can give Brian Gutekunst all the money in the world, but you got to pick up the right people to do so. But again, cross your fingers, he makes the right moves. He says, after the Jordan Love deal, I don't have much faith in Brian Gutekunst. I do. I mean, I know, again, that's going to be the albatross that hangs around his neck for quite some time. It's going to be there. Because until Jordan Love turns into something, but he's done. We went through this the other day. He's done. He's made a lot of good moves. You can't argue that point. Especially when it comes to the draft. A.J. Dillon looks to be solid. I like Kamal Martin. I like John Runyon. We'll see what Josiah DeGuara has going into next year. Rashawn Gary's beginning to develop. Darnell Savage Jr. had a really solid second half of the season this past year. Elkin Jenkins is a mauler. Kingsley Kiki's good depth. Ty Summers is a hell of a special teams player. Jair Alexander, obviously a Pro Bowler. That guy's just become a lockdown corner. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Equinemius St. Brown, both of those guys starting to emerge. We'll wait and see what happens going into their fourth year in the league. So I think there's a lot of positives there that can still happen. So I'm not overly concerned about that. It's just the Jordan Love pick that's going to hang around his neck for a while. Broadcasting live out of the Bud Light live stream studios, this is the Bill Michaels Show. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, it's now been 11 straight years since the Packers have used the franchise tag on one of their own players. After yesterday at 3 p.m., the deadline has come and gone, and Packers GM Brian Gutekunst decided not to use it on Packers running back Aaron Jones. Now, Jones is set to hit the open market on March 17th, but it is reported that before he hits free agency, the Packers are trying to re-sign him before he gets there. To college basketball, Wisconsin's guard Dimitri Trice put together the best season of his career and was awarded for it yesterday morning. The Big Ten announced its all-conference teams, and the Badgers senior was named to the third team by the coaches and the media. The Badgers now turn their attention to the Big Ten tournament. They're in action tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and they'll face the winner of today's matchup between Penn State and Nebraska. Here's more from Dimitri Trice.
I think the guys are super excited to just play the game again and be in this position that we didn't get a chance to last year. We mentioned that multiple times, that this is what we've been working for, and we won a regular season championship last year, and we haven't won one at the Big Ten tournament, so we're looking forward to that and just continue to go out there and fight.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
When a company only does business in Wisconsin, that's Wisconsin Strong. Rural Mutual provides all lines of insurance, including commercial, farm, home, and auto. And your premiums stay right here to keep Wisconsin strong. Local agents, local underwriters, local claims adjusters.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Highlighted by a towering shot from Christian Yelich, his first home run of spring training, the Milwaukee Brewers would come from behind to beat the San Francisco Giants 13-7 at the American Family Fields of Phoenix yesterday in Cactus League action. The Crew is back at it today when they take on the Oakland Athletics for a first pitch at 2:05. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Bill Michaels Show, hour number 2, and we're broadcasting live on the Bud Light live stream. You can find us there, and don't forget, Quick Trip is one of our proud sponsors, the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Also, our friends from New Mail, now a part of the program as well, thanks to them, and got a lot going on. Got a lot of good stuff today. Packers do not franchise tag Aaron Jones. So now what? It does not mean, by the way, that they don't bring him back. He still could come back if he chose to do so and if they could strike a deal with him. I don't think they're going to do that. But Terry just emailed me and says, I see on the NFL Network that Marquez Valdes-Scantling is confident that they're going to get Aaron Jones back. And then Aaron Jones retweeted that. I did see that. But I just, if they were going to get a deal done, they would have gotten a deal done already. I don't see that happening. I mean, I'd love it if it would, but I don't see that happening. We'll see. 877-867-1670. It would make sense. I mean, unless he goes to the open market and finds that he just is not, he's not going to get anywhere near what he wants. Maybe you come back and sign a 2-year deal. Okay. But I got to believe that this is due in part because they don't want to wrap up that kind of money in one guy. They just don't want to pay $8 million, $9 million, $10 million bucks. And Aaron Jones turned down top 5 money. So don't forget, I mean, he wanted a lot of guaranteed money. And the Packers just don't want to do that. I'm all for paying Aaron Jones $12, $13 million a year. But it's the guaranteed money that he wanted that became the sticking point. For a running back, here's one of the things you think about with Aaron Jones. In the beginning of his career, he was banged up. They didn't use him a lot, but he was banged up. So if he ends up, and he's a smaller, undersized guy, if he ends up getting banged up and suddenly his career's short, you don't want to have that kind of money wrapped up into a running back. If you look at a running back, they get 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 carries a game, right? And then you throw in, say, 17 or 18 carries and then 4 or 5 touches through the air because Aaron Jones became a very viable target for Aaron Rodgers. Well, that's 23, 24 touches a game. And that's anywhere from 3 to 4, 5 hits per touch. You start to do the math, and the touches and the hits go up exponentially for a running back, which is the reason a running back doesn't make as much money because they don't stay in the league long enough. They just get beat out of the league. Okay? Now, Aaron Jones, after the first couple of years of his deal, when he came into the league, decided 3 years ago, at the end of the season, I'm going to go away. Okay? I'm going to stay the same weight, but I'm going to drop a lot of fat. I'm going to lean out. I'm going to build muscle. I'm going to build it all back up in muscle, and I'm going to become stronger. I'm not a big dude. He's not. Very quick, fast, but not a big dude. When guys are undersized at the running back position, they tend not to last. So it's the guaranteed money that makes you shy away from signing a running back. So he goes away, he reconstructs his body, and the dude comes back jacked, right? Comes back jacked up and has a tremendous season 2 years ago. And then the question becomes, well, do you want to extend him? Do you want to pay him? Is he going to have the same kind of season? But then he goes out and has a better season. The touchdown numbers weren't the same, but he has a better season. His blocking was superb. His pass catching was awesome. His running of the football, he had breakaway speed. He showed everything you wanted to see out of a running back, out of a top quality running back. Right? So he goes on this offensive and proves I can do this. What you did was ask me to back it up. Not only did I back it up, but I backed it up better. Now what do you got to say about me? And they said, well, we wouldn't mind paying you, but we're not going to pay you a lot of guaranteed money because we still don't think you're going to hold up. That's the reason he's going to free agency. Because he's going to look for a team that's going to say, you went out and proven yourself in the last couple of years when everybody else doubted you. We're going to give you the money. That's what he's looking for. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That's the phone number. So he goes out, he does what he needs to do. He becomes better. He becomes more sturdy. Now we'll see. Ronald says, cannot figure out why they haven't done the restructure with Aaron Rodgers yet. Is he hesitant? I wouldn't think so. I honestly, I don't specifically know, but I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think he'd be hesitant. Not at this point. I mean, I think he sees the writing on the wall. He knows he needs to redo his deal. Now, Mark just said, ride it out. Let Aaron Rodgers do his thing. Don't restructure. Stick with the team that you have. Save enough money to spend on the draft choices and don't do anything. And then 2022 becomes much easier. I understand what it is you're saying, but you can't do that. You only have so much time with Aaron Rodgers. Why would you waste it? Why would you waste a year? You don't, at this point in time, you don't waste any years. You don't waste any time. You don't waste any time. With Aaron Rodgers on the backside of his career, I don't look at any season at this point as a, well, we'll wait till next year, or we'll take a chance this year and maybe next year. No. It's chips to the table. Here you go. I'm not only here to play poker, but I'm here to win. Here we go. I'm all in. Are you in? That's the way I'm doing it. Everything else be damned later down the road, because there is no tomorrow. Chris says, that's crap. What's a player to do then? Talking about how Aaron Jones kind of remodified himself. Exactly. But see, what's a player to do, Chris? He's doing exactly what it is he's allowed to do. He's taking his talents to free agency, and from there, he's going to get paid. I just hope that he gets paid what he thinks he's worth. Otherwise, you're leaving the team you could have had a contract with to go elsewhere to basically get the same money. That doesn't make sense. So I hope he gets what he believes he's worth on the open market. Because now the Packers have kind of set the table to say, okay, look, you turned us down. We're gonna move on. That doesn't mean you can't revisit it, because you can. But the likelihood of that, after a player turns you down for, top 5 money, so to speak, maybe you give him a little more guaranteed or something. But right now, you're pressed. Like I said, you're $9.6 million over the cap. You got to get down by Sunday. You have to do something. 877-867-1670. You want to chime in? Good stuff today. Good stuff. This one's from Lisa. Lisa says, I heard you talking about Greg Gard earlier. I love what you had to say. He did back his guys. How far does that go in a locker room? We'll see what they end up doing tomorrow night. I'm excited. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, Lisa. Gary says he's going to get 12 plus. That's the market. Well, it's not about the yearly money. It's about the guaranteed money. Because he could have gotten that here. I mean, I heard they offered him about that, or if not, a little bit more. He could have gotten that here. It's not about how much you're going to get per year. It's about how much of that is guaranteed. That's what they're looking for. And I heard he was looking for upwards of Alvin Kamara money or more. Just because he's put up the numbers. He's been one of the better running backs in the league the last couple of years. This is from the Saint. The Saint says running backs like Aaron Jones are hard to find. Why not keep him in his prime for another 3 years? And again, I appreciate it, but it was his choice to turn down the deal. Why did he turn down the deal? Because of the guaranteed money. He wanted more guaranteed money. He also says, do you still do the Peloton? I do. I haven't done it this week. The last few days have been really wrapped up in the new studio here. And the new studio is still not completed. There's a lot of stuff to go on around the scenes, behind the camera, so to speak, that have to be done. And there's still more. There's more things that got to come up out of the Amelia Cave and all that kind of stuff. But and it'll go up eventually. But just to get it on the air over the last few days with running new cables and new wires and putting wiring in the house and all that kind of stuff, and having people in and out, it's and you ought to see. Maybe I should do the during the commercial break for those that are watching on the live stream. I'll just turn the camera around and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's crap everywhere. There's papers on the floor, receipts on the floor, wiring, headphones, stuff that's been cut, garbage. Looks like Elmo. Somebody shot Elmo. Elmo's laying on the floor. He's dead. He's been panting like crazy because there's been new people in and out of the house. There's still tools and everything over on the chair, so it's not completed yet, but it'll eventually get done. So I have not had a chance to do the Peloton over the last few days, but I do see quite a few people when I take the class. So appreciate it. 877-867-1670. Ronald says, could it be Jones would like to play in warmer climates like Miami? There's a lot of talk with him going to Miami, but look, I think he would have stayed in Green Bay. Had they made him more guaranteed money, you'll play where the money is. When you're young, you believe you're going to win, and you believe you're great, and you're going to be the difference maker. It's not until you get towards the backside of your career that you're going to suddenly say, maybe it is about a championship. Maybe it is about a championship. So we'll see. So he'll go play anywhere that he's being paid. Anywhere he's being paid, he'll go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. When they offered him top 5 money, now top 5 is McCaffrey, Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook. All of those guys are averaging per year 12 or better. 12. Dalvin Cook is 12.6. David Johnson, 13 million. Zeke Elliott, 15 million a year. Same thing for Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey. He wanted to get around Alvin Kamara guaranteed money, which is $35 million. Christian McCaffrey, 36 million. Zeke Elliott, like I said before, they fell on their damn head. 50 million is what they guaranteed Zeke at. Dalvin Cook got 28. David Johnson got 31. And what I had heard is they offered top 5 money, yearly value to Aaron Jones, which would have put him at about 12 to 13, maybe a little bit more than that. But the guaranteed money was less. It was in the Dalvin Cook range, right around like 25, I think. I think Derrick Henry got paid 25 too, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's what that was. Brett says over on the Bud Light live stream, he says, "Hey Bill, what's your take on Aaron Jones' new agent being part of the problem?" And that's Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus takes you to free agency. I don't think he's part of the problem. I just think that he believes they're going to get more money on the open market. Fred says, "Do you think that the terrible Zeke deal affected the Packers' decision?" Zeke Elliott? Nobody's paying that kind of money. I mean, Zeke Elliott at the time, put it this way, the Cowboys overpay for talent. Jerry Jones doesn't want to let talented guys go. So Zeke Elliott got $50 million. The best running back in the National Football League has been Christian McCaffrey. Now, last year he was injured. And that's one of the reasons you don't want to have a ton of money wrapped up in a guy. Christian McCaffrey signs the deal, $36.3 million a year. That total contract valued at $64 million. He averages $16 million a year, and he's hurt. And he was hurt. I mean, the Zeke Elliott deal, $90 million total value, $50 million guaranteed, $15 million a year. And he's still a good running back, but it showed once Zach Martin went down and that offensive line wasn't the same. And then they were relying upon him. Andy he wasn't good numbers, but he wasn't great Zeke. And you were paying for great Zeke and you didn't get it. That's the fear. Could he still turn out to be great? Absolutely. Mark says, what about Shaquille Barrett? Could the Packers go after him? That guy's a beast. Guy's a beast. How many times did he bring down Aaron Rodgers this year? They did not, by the way, they did not tag him down in Tampa Bay. So he'll be a free agent. But again, they don't have the money. They don't have the money to bring him in. You would have to really, 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 get some salary cap relief if you're going to think about bringing him in. Let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break, come back. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Glad to have you. Thanks so much. Now, Christian says that he believes the Packers have something up their sleeve. He says the Packers are just too quiet right now. Aaron Rodgers' contract is first and foremost that has to be restructured. Nobody's talking about it in Green Bay. We're just all waiting for it to happen. We'll see if it actually happens. Let's go to John listening to us. John, welcome to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on. You just helped answer my question. I was wondering, if they do get rid of Jones, isn't Rodgers going to be, livid? Do you think the Packers will actually not get him any help? I mean, if they let Jones go, do you see that happening, them letting Jones go and not doing anything else for Rodgers?
That's a great question. My assumption is if they let Jones walk, and I believe they will, is that they believe that A.J. Dillon is the real deal, and obviously Jamal Williams, that you would assume then would be coming back. But you lose two key weapons off your offense, one being your line coach, so to speak, on the field, and that is Corey Linsley. And then you lose one of your best weapons in Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to figure some things out. He's going to have to build up a trust with A.J. Dillon, much like he had with Aaron Jones, and hope that A.J. Dillon turns out to be the same kind of pass catcher out of the backfield. But more so, you're going to have to make sure in A.J. Dillon's ability to pick up the blitz and be able to block for Aaron Rodgers, too. I mean, that was the one thing that Aaron Rodgers had a trust in, was Aaron Jones's ability to block for him, not to get him killed from the blind side. And to be able to pick up blitzes. So there's a lot that goes on back there that's not just running the football that Aaron Rodgers is going to have to trust in the long run, if indeed they're going to be successful, whether it's in the run game or the passing game, but be successful as an offense.
Yeah, hopefully they do something in the next couple days.
Well, they're going to have to restructure by Sunday for sure because they're still over the cap. So I just wonder what they have up their sleeve. We'll wait and see. Good stuff, though, pal. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for listening to us, John. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, he's off. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to be like John? Give us a shout. Go ahead and do so. Paul says, I think that losing Aaron Jones is going to be a big blow to the offense. He put up so many good numbers. We have talked about this a lot. Nobody seems to care that Aaron Jones is going off to greener pastures. I care. I said they're going to miss him. I mean, I've said all along they're going to miss this guy. It's going to take a little while for A.J. Dillon to become the guy. You hope that he's able to do it right away. You hope that there's not much of a drop-off and he's suddenly performing extremely well. It's going to take a little while. It's just going to take some time for him to get indoctrinated if indeed he becomes the heir apparent to the starting running back position. But you certainly hope then that Jamal Williams remains, because then at least you have familiarity. You know what I mean? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This is from Dave. Dave says, do you think the Packers make additional moves today or tomorrow? I know everybody's excited about it. This is all the talk is. I mean, it's all about the Green Bay Packers. They've been so close. They have teased us the last couple of years. Last year was a year in which they should have ended up in a Super Bowl. But the year prior to that, they had no business being in that NFC Championship game. They just weren't ready yet. But it was good experience, so to speak, for getting some of those guys to that point. Left them hungry. Remember that conversation that I had last year was at Darius Smith, when we talked about it on Radio Row at Super Bowl. And he said, and I said, what did you learn about this year? He said, I'm hungry. This stings. This is going to stick with me all offseason. And it did. Didn't put up the same numbers, but still had a hell of a season. And they were so close. They were right there. Much, much better, much closer, and much more of a reality towards the Super Bowl than the year prior was. Because the year prior was just, you kind of felt they were just setting themselves up to get hit with the hammer, and they did. Let's go to Larry. Larry, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning. My thoughts on Aaron Jones are, I don't think last year they used him in the pass game the same as they did the year prior, where they seemed to have more explosive plays on the perimeter with him. And causing some matchup issues. And again, I do think he's been valuable, but it sure seems strange down the stretch at the end of the game when he fumbled and left with that injury that he was unable to come back. And you really didn't hear anything about that injury post-game. So, again, I think he's a great player, but we didn't utilize him last year the way we probably should have. That's all I got. Thanks, Bill.
I appreciate it. When it comes to the injury, at the end of the season, they won't say anything after the game. And then they lost the game. So, that Tuesday is clean out your locker day. Once the season comes to an end, you're done. You basically come in, you go through your meetings, and you're done. Tuesday, Wednesday, that's clean out your locker day and talk to you later. So all they could say is, because at this point in time, then he is basically on his way to free agency, short of, being franchise tagged. So they're not going to give you an injury update for a player that they don't have to. They don't have to put him on an injury report. They don't have to talk about it. They didn't talk about it at all. And a lot of times you'll find out after the fact what happened. Like going into this season, whatever team he ends up with, whether it's the Packers or Miami or anybody else for that matter, they'll go into the new season, if you will. They'll bring him in and they'll talk to him, and then he'll say something like, I ended up getting banged up and I had surgery in the off season. I fixed this. And you'll go, oh, wait a minute. We didn't even know that. A lot of times you'll hear about that. Once the season comes to an end, they have no obligation to tell you anything about the health of any player at all. I don't think they underutilized him. I think there were times during the season that, they wanted to give him a little bit. What they want to do is, and they did a great job in doing this, they managed his physicality. They managed his hits. And you probably take that into consideration as well. If you've got a pretty good three-headed monster, and they did once A.J. Dillon came back from the COVID restrictions, once they got him back, they had a pretty good three-headed monster they were able to run out there. So they didn't have to just run Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, the body blows were saved for the postseason, and then he became kind of the bell cow. But they got a good look at A.J. Dillon. They got certainly a good look. I think, this past season made Jamal Williams some money. He had a really solid year this year. Now, again, he doesn't have the breakaway speed and that downfield threat that Aaron Jones brings to the table. And A.J. Dillon doesn't either. I just think A.J. Dillon has more likelihood to bust one by running you over and a little bit more speed and agility than Jamal Williams does. But he's got more ability to run you over than Aaron Jones did. Aaron Jones has just an extra gear. He's just he can get out of the start so quick. He's a guy that's really fast. If you go to the car vernacular, guys, he's the guy that gets out quick and can beat you in a quarter mile, but probably can't beat you in a in a marathon, so to speak, in a 500-mile race. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. More of the Bill Michaels Show is coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Bill Michaels Show is on the air, and I'm Bill Michaels. Got Evo, Brody back in the studios in Madison. And thanks to everybody for taking a listen to us on the network. Thanks for listening to us in everywhere from Wausau all the way to Madison, across Menominee, Marinette. Glad to have them on board again with us. Our friends at Sean, Winterville, and such. Great to have you all back. This one, Myers Leonard from the Miami Heat is going to be away from the team indefinitely. The organization talking about it late last night. The NBA conducting an investigation into his use of an anti-Semitic slur during a recent video game live stream. In the video that surfaced early yesterday on social media, he can be heard saying, "Effing cowards. Don't effing snipe me. You effing KB." K-word, B-word. Now, the statement came out, the Miami Heat vehemently condemned the use of any form of hate speech. The words used by Myers Leonard were wrong and will not be tolerated. Hateful language from anybody associated with our franchise. And to hear from the Miami Heat players, especially this hurtful to all of those who work here, as well as the larger South Florida, Miami Heat, and NBA community. Now, Leonard did come out and apologize in an Instagram post last night, saying, "I'm deeply sorry for using the anti-Semitic slur during a live stream yesterday. While I didn't know what the word meant at the time, my ignorance about its history and how offensive it is to the Jewish community is absolutely not an excuse, and I was just wrong. I'm now more aware of its meaning, and I'm committed to properly seeking out people who can help educate me about this type of hate and how we can fight it. I acknowledge and my own mistake, and there's no running from something like this that's so hurtful to someone else. This is not the proper representation of who I am and who I want to be, and I want to apologize." And it goes on from there. So anyway, it's one of those things, you just don't know. You throw it out there, you just don't know. And it's in it's in the gaming community. I hear this more often than not from people saying, "Listen to this," and you'll hear people that are on Xbox with all the different. You're in your own home. You're in your own home. You're behind your own closed doors, but you have allowed the world to listen in to what it is you're doing, and you're communicating with those through a headset. You don't see them. You don't know them. You don't have a feeling for them. Other than what it is, anxiety-wise and agitation-wise, they're doing to you or you're doing to them in a video game. And then something like that flies out and exposes your ignorance, and now you're in all kinds of trouble. No word as to what the NBA is going to do, if anything. You would assume they will do something. But nevertheless, So Leonard, Myers-Leonard away from the NBA and the Miami Heat for a while now. For a while, we'll see. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us over on Facebook, the Facebook fan page, The Bill Michaels Show, The Bill Michaels Show, over on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube and on Twitch, TV, and just simply find Bill Michaels, Michaels, Michaels. There you go. A lot more talk about Russell Wilson and about whether or not he will get traded away from the Seahawks. And this one's from somebody named Russell, obviously, who says, or I should say ironically, who says, I don't think Russell Wilson is going anywhere. Why are so many people talking about it? You know why? Because right now in the world of sports, we are on the precipice of the NCAA tournament. Baseball has not yet really begun. Not a lot of big stories coming out of spring training right now. Okay. The NFL is in their down cycle. Free agents tags, the franchise tags have just been used. Now we know who's going to be on the open market most likely. And the only other big story that's out there regarding sports, other than maybe some kind of misstep by a player, a coach, or something else in the social side of things, is salary caps. Who's going to get down to the salary cap space? How much money is your team going to have? And so on and so forth. That's it. So when it comes to Russell Wilson, he's a big name. He has made it clear that he's not happy with the organization and some of the things that they have done. So now you wait and see if indeed there's a trade to be made. I'm in agreement with you. Okay, I'm in agreement. I think that Russell Wilson is not going anywhere. I think it's a lot ado about nothing. But there is that outside possibility that some team looks at this and says, you know what, we're ready to fly now. If we trade enough pieces, we believe that if a quarterback can come in here and give us everything we need, he can put us over the top, then some team may do it. Some team may make them an offer they can't refuse. I know I did that in the first hour and it was bad. But if they make them an offer they can't refuse, then who's to say he wouldn't be traded? But Russell Wilson and his people have been emphatic in saying, no, he wants to stay. He wants to end his career in Seattle. He wants to remain a Seattle Seahawk. It doesn't mean that he couldn't be traded and still go somewhere else if they feel that, it's kind of run its course and he maybe piss people off. Who knows? But I'm in agreement with you. I don't think Russell Wilson goes anywhere. I think he stays. Sorry about the sound. For those of you on the live stream, no, another car did not take out a pole at the top of the street. This one's from Jake, who says, paying a running back guaranteed money is like getting insurance on the blackjack table. It can pay off once in a great while, but for the most part, it's the worst bet in the casino. You are correct. You 100%. Just for the fact that it is they take so many hits, it's so difficult to keep them healthy. And when a running back, especially a running back that takes an injury to a leg, in the norm. Now, Adrian Peterson was the guy that kind of skewed the numbers dramatically, but in the norm, if a running back loses that extra step, that gear, they're done. They become very, very average. And if you're paying them far above average, the risk far outweighs the reward. However, when you lose a guy like Aaron Jones and how dynamic he was to your offense, it's going to be tough to replace. And I've been saying that for some time. So, now this is the best question. This is the best question, and this comes from Rick. Rick says, "Would you pay Aaron Jones $30 million guaranteed and $14 million a year?" No. As much as I have pontificated about Aaron Jones being good, no, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't. As much as I really like Aaron Jones as a person, that money needs to be spent in other areas. I'm paying $7 to 10, maybe $11 million for a running back, a really, really, really good running back, maybe 12. but I can't go higher than not right now. Down the road in years, yeah, running backs are going to become more valuable, as everybody's going to become more valuable. But right now, in the salary cap that you're in the situation over the next couple of years, no, you can't do it. I just don't think you can. Chris says a running back success is predicated on a lot of things: the offensive line, the passing options, etc. Mark says the reason Ezekiel Elliott did not have the same success was the offensive line. Correct. I agree with that. That's what I said. As soon as they lost Zach Martin and that offensive line began to shift around and they started to erode, I agree with that. But that's my point. You proved my point. My point is that once you lost the offensive line, and every running back needs a good offensive line, but you're paying him to be a creator. You're paying him to be Zeke, to bust through a hole, to run people over, and then let the dog eat. Get down the field the way he's done in the past. You're paying him for dynamicness. And once you lose one key cog on your offensive line, he wasn't dynamic anymore. So the cart before the horse. Is it the offensive lineman you need to pay, or is it the running back? Can anybody run behind a really good line? That's the argument. So if Zeke Elliott is not special and you're paying him to be special, then you've overpaid, in essence, the running back. Because you're saying the reason he was good is because the offensive line was so good. 100% agree. That's the reason. That's the conundrum you find yourself in when you talk about whether or not you're going to pay a special running back or not. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Broadcasting live on the Bud Light live stream. If you want to watch the show, you can. Simply go to YouTube, go to Twitch, follow me, Bill Michaels, Michaels. You can track us down there. You can find us over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Track us down there. There's Facebook. Go to Facebook fan page, facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. Plenty of ways to hang out. 877-867-1670. Let's get back to the phone calls. Let's go to Dan. Dan, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Doing great today. What's up?
Well, I'm just calling from the enemy side of the border over here in Minnesota.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's a lot of green and gold over here.
You bet there is.
But I just wanted to comment about offensive line and running backs. I do love Aaron Jones. I think he's a great dynamic player, but reflecting back in history, looking at Barry Sanders behind a garbage offensive line as compared to Emmitt Smith behind a phenomenal offensive line, and in my opinion, Barry Sanders is the best running back the NFL has ever seen. And he was able to accomplish a lot without an offensive line, but there has not been very many throughout the years, that have been able to pull off what he without a good offensive line. Emmitt Smith, in my opinion, was a good back, but he never should have the rushing title that he had.
I think that when you look at greats like Barry Sanders, you look at greats like, well, you even take a guy like Walter Payton. Walter Payton for years toiled away behind somewhat of a bad offensive line. Those guys had a way of creating, of whether it was running around you, running over you, whatever it was, they were able to do it. And that's what you're paying big money for now in the National Football League. And if guys aren't special like that, then you just can't shell out that kind of money.
No, and the Packers can ill afford to spend that kind of money when they have so many other needs, especially at quarterback or lineman. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's probably going to hit the open market, and I'm sure somebody's going to gobble him up. But I do think Corey Dillon going to be a great back for us.
I certainly hope so. I appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks for taking a listen to us, specifically over there in Minneapolis, in that Minnesota area, and Purple People area. Appreciate it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. SOS says anybody can run behind a good offensive line. Ask Tom Bratz on that 89 draft pick. It was his logic as well. What else do we have here for you? I got a couple of people. Love both Aarons, but Aaron Rodgers can't be mad that they let Jones go because his contract is one of the reasons why they can't keep everybody. Aaron Rodgers deserves his contract, and the fallout is losing players. Deal with it. That's from Becca. Neil says, I'm not going to argue with anybody. I have insider information. I know the truth about the Packers and the backs. The truth is the Packers drafted the best running back they could because they were not going to pay Jones or Williams. Just have to live with it. We'll wait and see if they pay Williams. Williams made himself some money this year. There's no doubt about that. He made himself some money. So we'll wait and see if they decide to bring him back. And they may not. If they don't bring him back, if they don't bring Jamal Williams back, then you lost a lot of veteran carries back there. And Jamal Williams might have earned himself a little bit more money, to be quite honest with you. Maybe more than they were willing to pay. But you're right. Part of the fallout is the contract that is Aaron Rodgers. When you start making, this is exactly what it is we talk about. When you start making a lot of this money, that is your fallout. 100% agree. 100% agree. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, do so. Jamie says, I think the loss of Aaron Jones can be overcome. However, if you lose both he and Williams, you may not be able to survive. That's when you really, really, really got to hope that You know, A.J. Dillon not only is the real deal, but that you have somebody else that's in the wings waiting that's just as good. Mark says, did you see that the top 10 of 2021 out of Fangraphs starting rotations came out? Did you see where the Brewers landed? I did. I saw that. I was reading that. I don't know if it was, I think I read it last night. Either that or when I was going through my notes earlier today. But Fangraphs has the Brewers. Remember, we went through Major League Baseball, the network, and they had their top rotations this season. And the Brewers came in at number 9. Or no, excuse me, number 11. The Brewers, according to Fangraphs, are number 10. They have the 10th best rotation. I don't agree. They say the Reds had the 7th best. That I found a little shocking. Fangraphs, when it comes to that, they have the Padres at number 1. Wrong. The Dodgers should be number 1. They have the Padres up there at number 1. Then the Mets. The Mets, I can understand. The Yankees are pretty good. They have the Nationals if Lester and company pan out. I think the White Sox are pretty good, but the Cardinals are not mentioned. I think the Cardinals on paper have a really good rotation. Now, whether or not it actually happens, we'll wait and see. They have the Braves in there, and I think the Braves are going to be pretty good, and the Phillies are as well. But the Reds, once you get past Sonny Gray, really? I don't think the Reds are that good. So on one hand, I want to say I don't want to put much stock into this. On the other hand, I want to put a lot of stock into it because I really believe that the Brewers are going to be, I can't say underrated because many publications have them in near the top 10. And I want to recognize that. But when you put the Reds up there, boy, I don't know if I can do that. But yeah, I did get a glimpse of that. And you know what? It's great. It's great to be recognized for teams in the state of Wisconsin, the surrounding areas, okay? Just the upper Midwest in general, but if you're a big city, if you're Chicago, screw you, okay? But if you're talking about teams in Wisconsin, in Minnesota, in Detroit, in those areas, even though Detroit is considered a big city, it's really kind of a smaller market just because the media dollars haven't been the same there for years. But you like to be recognized. You know, when you finally, look, we're up there with the Padres and the Dodgers and the Yankees. Yeah, awesome, yes. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. What matters is the wins that you're going to put on, on every day during the season. That's what matters. So I love the recognition, and I want to agree with it, but the Reds are somewhat of a head scratcher to me. And I think the Reds offensively have, again, on paper, they have a lot of firepower. They just, last year, they didn't show it. But then again, a lot of teams didn't show it. This is from Dan Rich. Dan Rich says, I think they're going to lose both running backs. I think we knew Aaron Jones was going to be gone, but what about Jamal Williams? If they lose him too, what are they going to do? Who is next in line? Well, remember, they drafted Dexter Williams. So Dexter Williams is there if you need him. But most likely what you do is you'd go again back into the draft. You'd pick up another running back and try to find yourself another quality running back in the draft. You know? You got Dexter Williams is your guy that you drafted back in 2019. You could use Tyler Urban if you bring him back. As far as that's scat back, you'd still have Josiah DeGuara, who is an H-back, if you will. But yeah, you'd have to go draft another running back. But Josiah DeGuara is more of like a fullback type of guy. He's not really your running back. Your running back going to be A.J. Dillon, and you hope they bring back Jamal Williams. But if they don't, then you're going to be drafting another running back. We'll be back. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Wisconsin is making its way to Indianapolis today. It's where they'll open the Big Ten tournament tomorrow night against Penn State or Nebraska. Badgers have lost 3 straight games in 5 of their last 6. It leaves them as the number 6 seed, and if they win their first game, they'll have a date with Iowa, which already beat them twice, including last Sunday. Guard Demetric Trice desperately wants another shot at the Hawkeyes.
Seeing them on Friday, I think, will be another heated battle for 40 minutes, but I think that it's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. So I think that we're right there and we're clicking at the right time. So I'm excited to first handle whoever we have on Thursday, but that potential matchup is definitely there, and we're definitely looking forward to them.
Badgers projected to be a 7 or 8 seed in the NCAA tournament that will get underway next week in Indy. Turning the Bucks, they're going to practice again today as they prepare for the start of the second half of the season tomorrow against the Knicks. Milwaukee 22-14 on the year, sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference, just 2 games back of first place Philadelphia.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I brought home a delicious dinner and possibly $10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's Take-Home Meals Sweepstakes. Try our chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, spicy chicken penny, spaghetti, and more. Buy with your rewards card, and you could win $10,000. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from our kitchen to heat and eat in yours. But let's be honest, they had me at $10K. The Take-Home Meals Sweepstakes from Quick Trip. We got dinner covered.
Well, the Packers did not use their franchise tag for a 10th straight year. There was a thought they could use it on running back Aaron Jones, but did not. Means that unless they agree to a contract extension with him in the next 5 days, he'll become a free agent. Meanwhile, the Badgers holding their pro day in Madison today. 11 former players are working out. And the Brewers back in action this afternoon as they take on Oakland. New addition, Jackie Bradley Jr., not in the lineup yet. He's expected to make his debut on Saturday. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome back to the program. Glad to have you on board, and thanks for joining us again on the Bud Light live stream, which you can watch us over on Facebook. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Twitch. Just simply find Bill Michaels, and you're good to go. You can find us on all those platforms, including Twitter as well. But you're right, Rick. It looks like a construction zone. You are correct. I will show you the mess during the break. For those that are following us on the live stream, I will show you the mess during the next commercial break on the other side of the room, because the other side of the room is even worse. So there's just stuff everywhere, computers and cords and garbage. And so just so you know, it's not done by any stretch of the imagination. But welcome back. We're glad to have you. So Max says, when it comes to the NFL, we talk a lot of trade offers this time of year because there's not a lot left to talk about. But do you believe that Russell Wilson genuinely wants to stay, or he's just saying that because he knows he is not going to be traded and has to save face with the fans? Most of the time. Now, Deshaun Watson has made it clear he wants out of Houston. He wants out. So most of the time, players that want to remain usually state it. You know, they say, no, we want to remain with this team. I mean, they tweet it out, they put it public, all that kind of stuff. They do what's right. But if a player wants out, they'll make it known. Even if say they don't come out and just directly say, I want out. This is not a good situation. I want out. Even if they don't come out and say that, they'll say something to the effect of, well, I want to win. I want the best opportunity to win. I want a winning team. They'll give you the hint. They'll say, what do you want? But if you're alluding to the fact that I want to be able to win. I want the best shot at winning. And you're looking at the team and you're looking at where they are right now. The Houston Texans clearly are not in a shot to win. going into next year, there's going to be guys that are going to say, look, I'm a rookie. I've been drafted into the NFL. I'm on the second year of my deal, third year of my deal. I've got my deal coming up. I want to play my ass off because I know that big contract's coming up. But you know in your heart of hearts, you're not winning anything. You're not going anywhere. You know? Let's just say if you're part of the Jets organization, you're doing it for the love of the game and the money. Because you're not winning anything in New York. That is a freaking train wreck of an organization. I mean, I would almost have to say that the Jets have sunk to the level maybe below the Cincinnati Bengals. And Cincinnati sucks. That owner sucks. He's in it to make money. He's not ever going to do anything that's going to put his margin of money, of what he's going to put in his pocket, in jeopardy. He doesn't go for it. There have been more players that have screamed and yelled to get me the hell out of here. It's run like a backwoods mom and pop, don't know what the hell you're doing organization. It's not a professional organization. They have been very emphatic about that in the past. So I would say the Jets are less than Cincinnati. So you've heard about players that have said, look, I want out. Russell Wilson's never said that. He has said all along he wants to remain in Seattle. I don't think that's lip service. I think that's where he wants to stay. But I think what he wants is to have more of a say. He wants to have more, at least I think what guys want, what players want, is at least somebody to say, can you at least take my thoughts into consideration? You know, you at least want to feel like you have a little bit of control of what you need. It's kind of like being the chef. Bill Parcells had a great comment years and years ago. He said, like, look, I'm the chef. You want me to go make the meal. Well, then, damn it, let me buy the groceries. If you want me to make the best meal possible, then at least let me buy the groceries. That's kind of what's going on right now with Russell Wilson. You want me to go out and make things great and play great and take this team, throw them on my back, take them to a championship. Then at least get me some of the pieces that are going to help me get there. I can't do it by myself. And, oh, by the way, I'm getting the hell beat out of me along the way. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think he's going anywhere. I 100% agree with you. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Quick Trip, the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Don't forget, you can right now, if you're going to get ready tonight, you're going to kick back, you're going to watch some of that Big Ten tournament, okay? And you're going to see Penn State and Nebraska go at it, and you're going to sit back and you're going to watch this game, and you're going to go, you know what? I didn't even think about making any food. Get one of the take-home meals with your Quick Rewards card right now for a chance, not only to take home something great and put in your tummy, but take home some cash. Quick Trip giving away $50,000 in cash, $50K. One $10,000 winner each week for the next 5 weeks. Quick Trip's take home tonight. Take home fresh meals are made fresh daily. Absolutely delicious. Take one home tonight. You could be taking home $10,000 in cash. No purchase necessary. See the store for details. But that is our friends at Quick Trip who got it done right. Quick Trip, good people over there. Good stuff. Rick on the Bud Light live stream says, I think Carolina may be the most aggressive in the quarterback trade sweepstakes, and they have a sensible Teddy Bridgewater to offer up. I think Pete Carroll in Seattle would be happy with a quarterback like Bridgewater. Yeah, but they're going to have to offer up more than Bridgewater if you're going to get Russell Wilson away. Just saying. A lot more than just Teddy Bridgewater. Because Teddy Bridgewater, while he played okay and certainly played well in New Orleans in a short stint, I think he won either 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 games while Drew Brees was down a couple of years ago. You're going to have to offer up more than him. That's for sure. This is from DA. DA says, I'm excited tonight for the Big Ten tournament to get underway. I'm excited to just watch college basketball games and feel like it's a tournament season. I know some of these games have not had fans in the stands. What are your thoughts once the tournament gets underway? I don't know what they're going to do. I remember they put out the guidelines of percentages for what they're going to do with fans in the stands for the tournament. I think it's going to be more like a bubble. Right now, they're going to put fans in the stands for the Final Four and for the NCAA final game, but I don't think they're going to have a lot of fans in the stands for the conference tournament. Once the NCAA tournament gets underway, they're going to do limited amount of people in the stands, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be full arenas or anything like that. By the way, yes, I did see that. Notre Dame played. They were taking on North Carolina. No, I take that back. They're going to be playing tonight. But when they played last, Notre Dame traveled their cheerleaders. And their cheerleaders were standing like way the hell up in like the mid portion of the arena. And they they're cheering with masks on, so they're not real audible to begin with. But they traveled their cheerleaders. And they're cheering, which is great, but they're not cheering to anybody. They're cheering for their team. Like I said, that's awesome, but it's just, I don't know. It's just bizarre. But you know what? I'm glad they got that opportunity. Because they're student athletes technically as well. You can get there on cheer scholarships and such. So, glad that they get to do that. It is what it is. Mark says, Mark, you're crazy. Mark says that go ahead and cut Aaron Rodgers loose, bring in Russell Wilson, trade away Jordan Love, and that way you kill two birds with one stone. Well, if you cut Aaron Rodgers, you don't have the money to afford Russell Wilson. I don't know, Mark, if you're drinking already today, just because it's a Wednesday. Maybe you're prepping for the Big Ten tournament coming up tonight, and you want to get your drink on. I don't know. But whatever it is you're smoking or drinking, I'd stop it for a while and begin to sober back up. That's funny. That's funny. This is interesting. Mac Daddy says, did you see Tennessee getting rid of Malcolm Butler? I did see that. But actually, I think it was his agent said that. Malcolm Butler, obviously very, very well known. After spending 4 seasons with the New England Patriots, he was the guy that picked off Russell Wilson, as a matter of fact. Speaking of Russell Wilson, picked off that pass in the end zone. They should have run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. They didn't. They decided to throw it, and Russell Wilson got picked off. Butler jumped the route, and thus they being the New England Patriots, got the win over the Seattle Seahawks, and he became the MVP. And either was it a truck or a Corvette? I think he got. But nevertheless, he spent 3 seasons with the Titans. He finished last season with 4 picks, tied for a career high, by the way. 14 passes defended and 100 tackles in 16 games. He's got 17 picks, 5 forced fumbles, 3 sacks, 83 passes defended. The Titans now have Adoree Jackson and their second-round draft choice, Christian Fulton, as starters at corner, but Malcolm Butler on the open market. So there's going to be quite a few corners out there, I believe. I think the Packers are going to be able to get themselves a veteran, a solid veteran, by the time it's all said and done. Not overly worried about it. At least I hope they go in that direction. If they don't, I'll be disappointed. Kevin says on the Bud Light live stream, I wonder if Marquette has anything in the tank for the Big East tournament. The only way they're getting into the NCAA tournament is if they win the Big East tournament. Just saying. I don't know what's going on over at Marquette. I know they've got good recruits coming in. I know that Wojo has been able to solidify recruits and bring them in and really get you excited, but they have not lived up to expectation as well. And it's been very, 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 very quiet from Marquette fan. Very quiet. Golden Eagle Crusher has not been out there pounding their chest. And if anything, they've been very quietly rumbling under the surface for and scratching their head over why Wojo got the contract extension. Like I said, recruiting his ass off. but they have not lived up to expectations either. So, but Villanova, you're right, Brett. Villanova's banged up. So we'll see what happens for Marquette. But that's a whole other story we have not talked about. Is you could right now you could shoot a cannon off and nobody'd hear it if you're a Marquette fan because Marquette's nowhere to be found. They've had somewhat of a disappointing season too. Jesse says, do you think if Gard loses this first game against either Penn State or Nebraska, he gets fired? No, he doesn't. Why is Wisconsin fans so quick to want Greg Gard out? Didn't he prove himself last year? How do you go from winning Coach of the Year to all of a sudden, on your way out? I don't. It was a bad year. Again, if I'm looking at a team that is just struggling and they're fumbling the ball away and they can't find their ass with both hands standing up straight, that's one thing. But this team has had open looks. They just missed layups. I mean, when you start missing layups, yeah, that's on the players, man. That's a team playing tight. Now it's up to a coach to loosen you up, but I'm waiting to see what they do in the tournament. Let's just sit back and see. But no, Greg Gard's not going anywhere. Now, this goes on next year, yeah, then you're probably going to say, okay, maybe something happens. But no, I'm not calling for Greg Gard to be canned. Not doing that. Not going there. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
From the kennel to the coop, Fleet Farm has everything you need to keep your animals happy and healthy. Whether you're training your pup to sit, mastering those retrieval skills, flipping your horse for competition, keeping the backyard birds well fed, or loving your pets like family. There's a reason people say, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, I don't need it, because we have it all. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1950.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We're back. Bill Michaels Show on the air. I know on the western portion of the state, got some rain today. Got some heavy rain today. Cats and dogs. Just a steady drizzle on and off in the area, in the Milwaukee area today. I know there was a kind of on and off, same thing in the Madison area. A little bit heavier out there. More of the western portion of the state got doused a little bit. But it was good. It was good to wake up to humidity and rain rather than snow and cold, although it's going to get down into the 40s and 50s this weekend. But I'm liking it. I'll take this every day during the wintertime. I'll tell you that, as we continue to warm up. I was out and about last night, and I was out running around. I had a couple of different places to go. And like I said, I had to go to Guitar Center, and they were doing some stuff with the microphones and such. And then from there, I had to go over to Home Depot. And as I was going up Blue Mountain Road, I heard it, and then I had to roll my window down. And there it was. Not one, not two. Passed, another one, another one, another one. Motorcycles were out yesterday. Oh, my goodness. I was loving it. Now, it did make me go in my car because I wanted to ride so bad, and I don't have the bike here. But it did give me a little bit of optimism, as we know warmer weather is around the corner. So I can't wait. Cannot wait. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to chime in? Do it. Go ahead and do so. Plenty of things to talk about. This one's from Jack, who says, how about those Brewers? Power surge yesterday out of Christian Yelich. Your thoughts? A lot of people say your thoughts. Good. Look, I'm excited. I'm fired up, man. I can't wait for baseball to start. But I'm going kind of, first things first, I'm excited about the NCAA tournament. I'm excited about obviously getting under the salary cap by Sunday. I'm excited about baseball starting. There's plenty of things to be excited about. I'm fired up. I'm good to go. So I just saw that there was a piece written about the most intriguing players. Going back to USA Today, when you talk about Brewers baseball, the most intriguing player for the Milwaukee Brewers is, they say he's second baseman, but what they don't realize, he's a first baseman now. Keston Hiura. For somebody who's hit all the way through the minors and in 2019 as a rookie, he can't be as bad as last season's 212 average, 297 slugging percent, or on base percentage, 410 slugging percentage slash line. Will switching positions hurt his bounce back attempt? That's the most intriguing story according to USA Today. What will Jackie Bradley Jr. bring to the table? What will Lorenzo Cain, coming back after opting out last year, bring to the table? I think Keston Hiura is going to be just fine. I'm not worried about that. The Chicago Cubs, what is the most intriguing player? Javi Baez, the two-time All-Star, admitted to a lack of focus in a shortened season last year. How do you have a lack of focus? I guess it's one thing when you say, you know what, shortened season, I never really got right. I tried, whatever. But lack of focus? How do you not focus? What are you focused on? There wasn't even a distraction in the stadium last year. There was nobody there. How do you look at a lack of focus? Cincinnati, their most intriguing story in the National League Central. Starting pitcher Tyler Mahle. Lost in the excitement over Trevor Bauer and Luis Castillo and Sonny Gray was Mahle's quietly impressive season. He had one of the lowest barrel rates of any starting pitcher, 3.5%. Struck out 11.3 batters per 9 innings. He's the most intriguing story for the Cincinnati Reds. St. Louis Cardinals. Well, let's go Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Pirates. Third baseman Cabrian Hayes exploded out of the gate in his 1-month major league debut with 5 homers and a .376 batting average. But can he succeed with limited talent around him? And then St. Louis outfielder Dylan Carlson. Dexter Fowler trade eliminated his primary obstacle to playing time. Now the top prospects' power and speed will shine. At least that's what they feel. So those are the most intriguing stories, intriguing players, intriguing storylines for teams in the National League Central, according to USA Today. Just thought I'd throw it out there. A little baseball talk. I'm good with that. I'm down with that. I just, overall, I'm excited about this season. I just am. Good to see the wind blowing out. See, that's the other thing. When you say the wind blowing out in Arizona, that's great, but it's that really weird air out there. I mean, this time of year you're out there, it's hot, but it's a dry heat, which who cares? That's kind of stupid. But nevertheless, the Brewers had the power surge yesterday, 13-7. They get the win over the Giants. They go to 6-3 in Cactus League play. And Colton Wong, 1 for 3 yesterday. He's not started off very fast, though, by the way. Avisail Garcia, 1 for 3. He continues to hit, hitting .500 on the young season. Christian Yelich with the bomb, 2 for 3 yesterday. Had the run scored during the homer. So Yelly off to a .333 start. Vogelbach 0 for yesterday. Manny Pena was your DH. He's hitting the ball. But Manny Pena does that. He gets off to that fast start and hits the hell out of the ball and then just comes crashing back there. Same with Orlando Arcia. Orlando Arcia right now, 375 in spring training, 2 for 3 yesterday. Had the 1 strikeout, but he will either get off to a fantastic start and give you optimism, or he will positively crap the bed and then give you a little bit of a burst at the end to make you go, oh, this is great. This is what we've been looking. He has yet to put a full season together. And I don't think he has it in him anymore. But he is going to be pressed over at shortstop. Big time. He is going to be pressed at shortstop. For playing time. If he doesn't get off to any kind of a start, he is going to be pressed over at shortstop. Because they brought Urias in the trade for a reason. So he is going to be pressing. He's going to be pressing him for some playing time. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. David says, you think Aaron Rodgers should restructure the contract, give some money back, so they can get some better quality players to get to a Super Bowl? David, my answer is yes. Yes. Chuck, I completely forgot. I will do it during the break. I am so sorry. I forgot to show the mess of the construction zone during the last break. I apologize. I said I was going to do it, and I didn't do it. So I apologize. I will do that during the break for those that are watching on the Bud Light live stream. My apologies. I didn't do that. Hey, this time of year, though, it is nice. It is windy out right now. But tonight, because the construction has been all enveloping, and I'll show you the wiring and everything, it's kind of still hanging out all over the place, but I have not had a chance to get out and grill. Tonight, I'm grilling. My grill is on. I'm going to get my grill on tonight. I got some big pork chops ready to go. And if you're going to do your grilling this season, why not guarantee yourself some fresh beef for the summer months by purchasing a 6 or 12-month subscription during the month of March from our friends at ScholeseyFamilyBeef.com. and they're going to send you a free pound of ground beef every month in every month's package. That's right, free pound of ground beef. They have breakfast meats now too, sausage, bacon, all kinds of links and such. But it's shipped from their family farm to your family table right then and there. It'll show up on your doorstep in just a couple of days, packed in dry ice. And the best part about it is if you take it camping, if you're a camper or you like to travel, you like to go up north, or you got a cottage or whatever it happens to be, once you start opening those things up, they can ship it there as well, or they can ship it to your doorstep. Don't take it out of the box. Just leave it in there and put it right in the car, because it's shipped in dry ice. It'll stay fresh. So that's good stuff right there too. And also, Scholze family over there wants us to remind you that all around central Wisconsin, they're going to be back at spring events. So if you're out traveling around, or maybe you live in the area, all you got to do is stop by, see them, say hello. They have their farm store open. The farm is open as well near Black River Falls in Humberg, Wisconsin. So you can stop in and tell them we said hi. But from their family farm to your family table, it's ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, SCHOLZE. Scholze. That's Scholze, FamilyBeef.com. That's SCHOLZE, Scholze, FamilyBeef.com. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to step away for just a couple of minutes, and we'll be back. But we are also going to, for those of you on the live stream, yes, I promised I would do it, so I'll show you around real quick. Just give you a look at all the crap, because there's crap everywhere. So we got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
High fives, Wisconsin.
Gina Della from Pella, what's the celebration?
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin was just named NARI's Distributor of the Year.
That's a big deal.
You're not kidding, but there's more. The International Builder Show just named Pella's new Easy Slide Operator Best Window and Door Product of the Year.
Another Pella innovation that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows with an easy slide.
A real blessing for those with hand and wrist issues.
Why crank your windows when you can easy slide, right?
But there's still more.
Oh, you mean based on the 2019 Consumer Survey on leading national brands that Pella is rated #1 for highest value, highest quality.
Yes, but there's still more. Now get 5 years, no for
Pella high fives all around.
But only through March 31st. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. How we're looking. Bill Michaels Show's on the air. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Broadcasting live on the Bud Light live stream. And for those that are watching on the live stream, I showed you some of the garbage. There's just crap everywhere. There's wires hanging out of the walls. Nothing's been tucked away. Old cable wires are still hanging out of the floor that need to be snipped and pulled out. And so it's not terrible. But for somebody that does a lot of, how shall I say it, cleaning, and I don't want to say I'm a neat freak, but I'm kind of a neat freak. So like right now, like the wires in front of this thing drive me crazy. I'm thinking about drilling holes and running wires through stuff, and it just drives me nuts. It just does. So I'm a bit of a neat freak when it comes to that stuff. So it's a little, makes your skin crawl. You know what I mean? Just does. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to chime in? This one's from Kathy. Kathy says, do you need that big of a New Mail poster? That's what they sent me, Kathy. New Mail Medical Center. Love these guys. New Mail Medical Center. I use it. I go there. I don't do the ED stuff. I do the weight loss stuff. I do the testosterone replacement, all that kind of stuff. It's great. So I was on the air one day. They're a new sponsor, and they've been with me for a long time, but now they're with the new network with us. And I've been a advocate of theirs for many, many years. But yeah, Justin, who was their marketing guy, was watching the live stream from their bases in Vegas. So he's watching us from Vegas, and he says, you need a better backdrop. So I said, well, send me one. He asked for the measurements. I said, about as tall as a door, about the size of a door, basically, about 3 feet wide. He sent me one like 7 feet wide. It's huge. It's like a whole wall. It's huge. But all from our friends at New Mail Medical. There you go. We got another one coming from Bud Light. I guess Bud Light's going to go on that wall over there. Who knows? Before you know it, we'll just have all backdrops. It'll look like you're walking the red carpet doing this show. There you go. James says, I'm going to do a little grilling tonight. I'm going to watch some basketball tonight. Can't wait. Love the idea. You've got me in the mood for grilling out and tailgating. When do you think the Brewers are going to allow that? My guess is July. If I had to be a betting person and I'm going to go to Vegas today and put money on it, I would say July. Start to look for July. June, July is when they're probably going to start allowing fans back. But that's not written in stone, so don't quote me on that and say, well, Bill Michael said it was going to happen. No, I'm just saying if I had to pick, I would probably say July is when that would start happening again. I'm with you, though. I'm going to be grilling up. I stopped down to my buddy Paul Roberts the other day and went to Roberts Specialty Meats in Waukesha, and where you can get the ribs on a stick. And I did that. So I've got the 2-inch thick pork chops. So I'm going to do a pork chop tonight. And then, in addition to that, I'm going to throw maybe 4 or 5 of those ribs on a stick alongside a big, healthy meat meal tonight and a salad alongside. And I'm going to throw that on the grill tonight. And I'm going to be face first like I'm going to the electric chair later on. I'm going to sit down and watch some college hoops tonight. And then kind of go from there. Oh, this is Bob. Bob says, will Dog Cam have a sponsor? Dog Cam should. We should. We should figure something out and have there's got to be a Wisconsin-based dog food company or dog company or pet company out there. I think there is, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we get them to sponsor it. What are the dogs getting for a meal tonight? Oh, they get the other pork chop. I do the pork chop, cut it in half, give it to them. Plus the dogs get hot dogs. When I grill out, they get grilled. You can't fire up a whole grill for one thing, So I got to do it. It's like I'm cooking for 20 people and the dogs get whatever's left. Or we just put it in the refrigerator and then heat it up the next day. But yeah, that's what's going on here. Michael says 2 things. He says, one, I think the Brewers are going to be a team that's going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to be them and the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. Book it. That's if Christian Yelich can come back and hit 290 or better and lead this team. Also, Lorenzo Cain has a lot to do with this. He has to be a 280 hitter. I think he still has something left in the tank, albeit I like the move to pick up Jackie Bradley Jr. I am not worried about who is starting. When are you going to have your next cigar dinner? You mentioned something in Milwaukee. I have not solidified it yet. I'm currently working with a place called Copperfields, and as soon as I get that together, I'll let you know. But it's going to be very, very, very limited. And I'm talking maybe 20 people. It's going to be very limited. It's a private club that is doing kind of a push. But in addition to that, and it's going to be open to the public, don't get me wrong. It's not only for members, but that's where it's going to be held. And our friends at Tobacco Outlet Plus Grocery, I think are going to get involved with this for one time only type of thing. I don't know if the cigar dinners are going to come back this year. Like I've said, if you want those cigar dinners to come back, call over to Quick Trip. Call them and tell them you want them to come back. I would love to see them come back. I'd love to do them this year. But I have not received a schedule as of right now is what I'm saying. So, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But that's kind of where I'm at. So I will let you know as soon as it becomes, I'll post it on the Facebook fan page for sure. And then kind of go from there. I like your thoughts on the Brewers, by the way. I really do. I'm liking it. Robert says Brewers need to take the hit and release Lorenzo Cain. Guy came in out of shape and doesn't look like he will be ready for opening day. Robert, how do you know he came in out of shape? I've not heard that he's out of shape. I heard that he came in and he tweaked was it a hamstring? And he's in the interview that he did, he wants to play opening day. So I'm not overly concerned about Lorenzo Cain. I think, and let me ask you this. Why would you get rid of him? You know what I mean? What possible reason would you get rid of him? I mean, he's got the quad, the strained quad. But why would you get rid of him? Craig Counsell said this past week or earlier this week that he wasn't ready to play despite taking the previous week off with the quad strain. and a little bit of a setback. But Lorenzo Cain said, look, the base running got me. He said, I came out too hot too early, and at the same time, it's just something that crept up. I'm going to manage it, and I hope to be back on the field real soon. You can't, if you don't play, you can't be in play shape. And he didn't play it all last year. He couldn't play winter ball either. Normally, he'll go away and then go play with college kids in the winter. And as the college kids start to get ready, say in the late winter, early fall, and he'll go and play with some of these college guys and hit against some of these college pitchers who want to start getting themselves ready for the season as well. And he didn't get a chance to do that either. So he has not played any competitive ball. It's like being a football player and being out of football for a year, and then you basically come back and you're ready to go. Your first game, you get a little bit of practice in, but you really don't take that first hit until you take that first hit, because we all know that they don't really do a lot of hitting in practice. So Lorenzo Cain was in a base running drill. I mean, you go all out. It's not like being hit in football where you kind of get, you're doing the dance and you're being shoved around. I mean, when you go all out, you go all out. And he just wasn't ready for it. So you get a little bit of a strain, you come back, but he didn't come back out of shape. And the guy doesn't look out of shape. It's not like he put or anything I've seen of him. So I'm not concerned about Lorenzo Cain. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Hit us up there. You can also find us over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us on the Facebook fan page, YouTube, Twitch. Just look for Bill Michaels. You'll be good to go. Or the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Good stuff. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks so much. Hey, our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. I heard from my girl, Gina Della from Pella. And NARI, by the way, the National Association of Remodeling Industry, they named Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin the Distributor of the Year. We knew they were good. I mean, I've told you before. I just showed you around the office a couple of minutes ago. The windows across from me and the patio doors and such, not only in this room, but the patio door in my bedroom and all the windows, everything in the house, except for one patio door, is all Pella Windows and Doors. And there's so much more. They have the Easy Slide Operator, the new window. That is the International Builders Show just naming the Pella new Easy Slide Operator the best window and door product of 2021. You got to see this. If you are looking for new doors and windows, this is the way to go. It really is. It makes the outside to access so enjoyable. I don't know what it does, but it does. You push your button with one finger. Open it goes. Easy Slide Operator, yet another patented Pella innovation that eliminates the repetitive cranking motion on casement and awning windows. And why be cranky, as they say? Why be cranky when it's just easy to slide them right open? But there's a lot more. And this is the most important thing, based on the 2019 consumer survey, Pella Windows and Doors, all the data was compiled, and they rated number one. Number one for value, number one for quality, as far as breaking and all that kind of stuff and warranty claims and such. They were number one for quality and improving your home's value. So for the best value for your money and then adding the most value to your home, all Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Plus, right now you get 5 years, no interest, 5 months, no first payment, and that is huge. 5 years, no interest, 5 months, no first payment. High fives all around everybody over there at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. But only through March 31st right now does that deal exist. So set up your free consultation. Go today to PellaWI.com/radio. That is PellaWI.com/radio. Or you can call them at the new Pella number, 855-PELLA-WI. That's PELLA-WI. 855-PELLA-WI, or go to PellaWI.com/radio. Good stuff going on over there at Pella Windows and Doors. Greg Gard is not on the hot seat, according to Jason, who says, I think Gard has done a pretty solid job. I'm going to give him a pass this year. I do expect big things from the Badgers next year. Good recruiting class coming in. I'm optimistic that he is going to rally the troops in the Big Ten tournament, and then they are going to make a showing and get to the second weekend of the big tournament dance. Jason, you're an optimistic human being, and I like it. I like it. I enjoy that. I enjoy that thought process. I hope so. I hope you're right. It would make things around here interesting, enjoyable. And if they do get to the second weekend, it certainly would take us all the way through damn near opening day. So it fills the sports void, that's for sure, selfishly speaking. So, yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Let's see. Gary writes, in the March Madness pool, who do you have? Well, I don't have all the brackets yet. Okay, let's start there. I don't have the brackets yet, and as far as who am I going to take in the overall? God, obviously the Zags are really, really good. An undefeated basketball team this year, and they're just beating everybody quite handily, I guess, is the best way to put it. Now, I can't take like Alabama. Alabama's there. I just can't take Alabama. They're what, 6, 7, 8 in the country, something like that. I just can't take Alabama. I don't take West Virginia because West Virginia, Bob Huggins' teams notoriously play well and then get to the tournament and then fail. Villanova's banged up, as we had mentioned a little earlier. I love the story of Loyola Chicago again, but who knows? Maybe they do catch fire. Maybe they do catch lightning in a bottle. I would love to see one of the Big Ten teams get there. Obviously, I have an affinity for Ohio State, but Illinois, Michigan, not a Michigan fan, but I'll take Michigan. One of the Big Ten teams winning it. I can't count those teams out. But if you had to go with anybody right now, I'd probably go with Gonzaga first. I don't know what to believe in Baylor. Baylor's 21-1 overall. I don't know what to believe in Baylor. They're a good basketball team, man, no doubt about it. But I don't know. I don't know what to believe in them right now. They have had a tremendous season. Tremendous season. And, Jared Butler obviously is unbelievably solid, but something in my head tells me don't take Baylor. Maybe it's a Final Four team, but don't take Baylor to win at all. Who else? Oklahoma State. I can't take Kansas. I don't want to see Kansas win. There's just something I just don't like about Bill Self, and I don't know what it is. I just don't. It's kind of like rooting against Kentucky. Same thing. And I'm glad we're most likely not going to see Kentucky there this year. So that's kind of where I'm at. Duke did get a win last night, and they won big last night in the ACC tournament. Duke lives to fight another day, but Duke is a long way away from claiming the tournament. Although Michigan State has kind of rebounded this year. They're 5 or 6, 7 spots out of the top 25. Maybe Michigan State jumps up. Wisconsin's dropped out of the top 25 after losing to Iowa. So I'm looking for them to give us a good showing. Wisconsin right now, 28th or something like that, 29th, I think, if you go by the rankings and those that are just on the outside looking in. So, but there's a couple of teams. If I had to root for some of the underdogs, again, I'd go Loyola, I'd go Creighton. There's Virginia all over again. Virginia's back, 17-6 in the season. They have climbed 5 spaces in the top 25, coming from 21 in the country. Purdue is hanging around now. Purdue's got a little bit of a resurgence, 18-8 on the season. But if I had to go with anybody right now, I know it's easy to go with the front runner, but the front runner's there for a reason. An undefeated season, and they did it quite handily. The Zags are just that damn good. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Come back. We got a lot more. 1 hour yet to go, but a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. That is coming up next.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, Wisconsin is making its way to Indianapolis today. It's where they'll open the Big Ten tournament tomorrow night against Penn State or Nebraska. Badgers have lost 3 straight games in 5 of their last 6. It leaves them as the number 6 seed, and if they win their first game, they'll have a date with Iowa, which already beat them twice, including last Sunday. Guard Dimitri Trice desperately wants another shot at the Hawkeyes.
Seeing them on Friday, I think, will be another heated battle for 40 minutes, but I think that it's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. So I think that we're right there and we're clicking at the right time. So I'm excited to first handle whoever we have on Thursday, but that potential matchup is definitely there, and we're definitely looking forward to them.
Badgers projected to be a 7 or 8 seed in the NCAA tournament that will get underway next week in Indy. Turning the Bucks, they're going to practice again today as they prepare for the start of the second half of the season tomorrow against the Knicks. Milwaukee 22-14 on the year, sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference, just 2 games back of first place Philadelphia.
Hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I brought home a delicious dinner and possibly $10K. That's $10,000. That's a good day. It's Quick Trip's take-home meal sweepstakes. Try our chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, spicy chicken penny, spaghetti, and more. Buy with your rewards card, and you could win $10,000. No purchase necessary. See stores for details. Dinner, fresh from our kitchen to heat and eat in yours. But let's be honest, they had me at $10K. The take-home meal sweepstakes from Quick Trip. We got dinner covered.
Well, the Packers did not use their franchise tag for a 10th straight year. There was a thought they could use it on running back Aaron Jones, but did not. Means that unless they agree to a contract extension with him in the next 5 days, he'll become a free agent. Meanwhile, the Badgers holding their pro day in Madison today. 11 former players are working out. And the Brewers back in action this afternoon as they take on Oakland. New addition, Jackie Bradley Jr., not in the lineup yet. He's expected to make his debut on Saturday. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil, printed.
The program round and third, heading for home. That's okay. Still got a lot more left to go. As we got all kinds of emails and such to get to, all kinds of things that people want to know, thoughts on such, so to speak. This is from Kristen, who says, "Do you think that Christian Yelich is a position this year for quality?" Good gloves and good arms, do you think they move him around as well? I guess they could, right? They could. I look forward to what this offense has. I really do. I like. Did you see Jackie Bradley Jr. the other day and the throw that he had? Holy moly! There's a reason he's out there. Good gravy. But I'm excited. I'm excited about this offense. I'm just excited for baseball in general, but I'm excited for the season. And I'm excited in the sense that I believe the Brewers are going to be better than what a lot of people give them credit for. I do. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. I think that the pitching staff is going to surprise a few people. Even though they're getting a lot of pub, they're getting some play. I think the pitching staff is going to be better than what a lot of people expect. Or maybe what the national people are expecting. I'm liking Woodruff, obviously, but it's going beyond that. I think it's going beyond just Woodruff. You know, I'm Corbin Burns, and again, I know everybody got excited about a good inning out of Corbin Burns the other day, but I think Corbin Burns has all the makings of a quality righty. Really good breaking stuff, and when he gets into that rhythm where he's just. I mean, most pitchers get into a rhythm where they go. They just have their routine. They just go. When he gets into a rhythm, he's just really, really good. But if the nice thing about Corbin Burns is he's got options. I mean, not that I want to option this guy away, but he's a guy that if you need to send him away to go get right, he can do that because you got about 7 guys you can go deep on. You know, you still have some options on Freddie Peralta. You still got options on Drew Rasmussen, Feyereisen, Yardley. You know, the one you don't have is Black, obviously. Topa, Brent Suter. You even have options on Josh Hader, believe it or not. That's the kind of play that David Stearns loves, is to have guys with options, controllable contracts, that kind of thing. Now, Hader's eventually going to get paid, but we'll see. Big doings going on today down in Dallas, by the way. They're expecting Dak Prescott's press conference. I was just during the break, I was watching on the tube. And can we say tube anymore now that they're flat panels? I don't think we can. But I was watching on television here in the studio, and they are expecting the big Dak Prescott press conference coming up. You know, he's going to get the questions. Dak, how does it feel to be a Dallas Cowboy? What does it mean for them to step up and give you the confidence? What are you going to buy with all that money? Those are probably your big 3 questions. How close are you to actually being an elite quarterback? What do you think of Mike McCarthy and the quarterback school or the quarterback college that Mike McCarthy put you through? How much better of a quarterback can you be under Mike McCarthy's tutelage? All of that. The giant steaming pant load of questions coming up at the Dak Prescott press conference very, very soon. It will not be carried on these airwaves, by the way. You can thank me later. Oh, man. Chuck says, I am very pessimistic regarding the Badgers. would not be at all surprised if they lose on Thursday to whomever they play. And I don't see how they make it out of the first weekend of the dance. The way they have looked over the past month or so doesn't fill me with much hope. Everybody knows that the teams that get hot at the right time usually do pretty well. That's why I go back to what I had said earlier about Greg Gard. And I don't know if it's going to turn out to be brilliant or just a moment of what people consider to be whining. Because what you needed was something to galvanize this team, to bring them together. And what you heard after the game the other day, in which Boborowski was so integral, I guess, in costing the Badgers a ball game, was you heard just that out of that locker room. You heard young guys, veterans, seniors, whatever, everybody saying the same thing. They feel like they got jobbed again. And then their coach led the charge, saying, hey, I expect the league to call me. They know my number. They got my number. Bring it. That's basically what he was saying. Bring it. We're ready for it. And then other guys saying the same thing. But what he did is tell all the guys in that locker room, I got your back. I got your back. I'm not going to allow you to be demeaned or belittle when it comes to ESPN, the Big Ten, referees, whomever. I got your back. And that goes a long way when guys know that your head coach, they got you. So I think it was masterful. It was the right time. It was a boiling over of frustration and what he's seen continuously, and it was the right time. Because you know your team has something, right? You don't know what, but you know your team has something. You've seen this team, short of Pritzl, win. So why can't they recapture some type of magic, whatever it is they had last year? So you know they've got it in them. So you needed something to bring it together. Maybe that brings it together. So now we wait and see. That's why tomorrow night, when I watch this team, it is going to be so interesting or so anticipatory to watch how they play, with what passion they play, with what hustle they play, what emotion they play with. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I really am. So we'll see. But I am looking forward to tomorrow. But I agree with you. A team that gets hot at the right time, the team that can win a tournament or get hot in a tournament, you're right. That's a team that suddenly starts feeling it a little bit. Maybe they haven't had the best of season, and they kind of put it all back together. They can go on. They usually start to put something together in the NCAA tournament. So we'll wait and see. Is what it is. Mike says, I hope Louisville beats Duke. That's coming up, later on today, I think. But he says, I hope Louisville beats Duke. I hope Krzyzewski goes down and we don't have to see Duke in a tournament. Fred says, the Badgers still can't win if they don't shoot well. Fred chiming in on the Bud Light live stream. You're right, but that's just it. I mean, when you get into a zone, you start feeling it. And that zone doesn't have to be for one specific game. It can carry over time and again. It doesn't have to be for just tomorrow night. That can carry over longer than that. 877-867-1670. Phone lines wide open. 877-867-1670. Hit us up over on Twitter as well. At Bill_Michaels. Got some emails to get to. Coming up here in just a little bit. Let's see here. What else do we have? We got a lot of different people chiming in today. Jamie G says, love the program, listening to you here in Marshfield. Do the Packers restructure Aaron Rodgers in the next day or so? If not, what message does that send? Well, technically, they have until Sunday to restructure. If they don't restructure Aaron Rodgers' deal, to me, a couple of different things. If they don't restructure Aaron Rodgers' deal, they could be simply saying that we're going to do some other things to get under the cap. But it will tell me that they're not going all in. And it'll be disappointing because that's the big contract that everybody's waiting on. That's the one that needs to be restructured, right? So that'll be disappointing. But it'll basically say that as of right now, they're still on track, on course to have the Jordan Love era begin sooner rather than later. Within the next couple of years. And that'll be disappointing. That'll be disappointing. So we'll wait and see. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. The Bills have released wideout John Brown. That speedy receiver is now available. As more and more releases begin to happen. Teams are also reaching out about a possible trade for the wide receiver N'Keal Harry. So, in other words, the Patriots are hoping that other teams are reaching out to them. I look, there's going to be a lot of moves going on here in the coming days. And I think it again, when you ask me about Aaron Rodgers, I don't think anything happens until that happens. Jim says Rodgers needs to restructure the deal, otherwise can't complain about not having the players around him. We've talked about that. 100% agree. Gary says they've already gone all in. No, they haven't. How can you say that? Gone all in on what? The only time they actually put a lot of chips on the table, and I really appreciated that, was when they brought in Za'Darius. They brought in Preston. They brought in Adrian Amos. They still did not. I mean, everybody knows what the glaring weakness is. The weakness is they don't have enough beef up front. And when they were running Mike Pettine's defense, and I don't even know if it's going to change, but they were running a ton of nickel and dime. So even in run situations, never understood that. But when they were putting guys in places to make plays, they weren't making plays either. They needed to upgrade that defense. And they keep telling you, and I shouldn't say they keep, because you haven't heard them say it significantly lately, but I go back to the year that Elliot Wolf took the podium and said, we don't value the middle linebacker the way you do. Well, we've been finding out year after year after year after year after year, the middle linebacker is pretty damn important. Eric says, sadly, if you don't redo Aaron Rodgers' contract, you might as well state you're starting over, rebuild, trade some guys for picks, get younger, pray Love can pull it off, and then get back they can get back at it someday. If Rodgers does not redo, it pisses off the fans and makes him look bad. If Rodgers did redo, then the Packers don't spend it, then it's a slap at Rodgers. So either way, it may not end well. But let me ask you this, Eric, okay? We may not know. We may not know. If, let's say, the Packers, because Brian Gutekunst did say that they were talking to Aaron, all right? Let's say that they did. What happens if they did talk to him and he agreed to it and they decided not to, or what they wanted to do was really not very much worth it, we'll say? Now, I can't imagine the Packers are going to try to restructure a deal and really not gain that much leverage. So either they're in or they're not. But if the now you can say I'm discussing it. Yeah, they could have discussed it. They could have discussed it and said, "Hey, look, if we decide to go in that direction, would you be open to it?" Yes, I would. Okay, great. And then they never call back to redo his deal. That's not on Aaron. That's not on Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? So if they don't redo his deal, that's more on the team, I think, more so than anything. My buddy Steve chiming in said the microphone blocks half of your face. That's a good thing, Steve. You don't need to see all of my face. I go back to dog cam and I can show you Elmo's ass. More interesting in that sense. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We'll continue more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
It's the thought of going to Dodger Stadium. So it's really cool that way. But yeah, that's the best Major League Baseball stadiums that are out there on the Twitter poll. I would say your final 4, final 6 are going to probably be Wrigley, Fenway, Yankee Stadium. Those are going to be in there. Dodger Stadium probably makes it. Where the Rockies play, out at Coors Field, that place is beautiful. Really, really nice. So Coors Field, I would say, would beat Minute Maid every damn day of the week, and then go on from there. I bet you Coors Field's right up there with Fenway. So, but that's just my take on stadiums. We've talked about them all before. No reason to get all crazy about it, but that's what's out there on the Twitter poll. I'll retweet it in case you want to chime in. So there you go. Just retweeted it. The Saints have restructured the deals for Malcolm Jenkins and Andreas Pete, creating over $9 million in cap space, according to Ian Rappaport. So you're hearing more and more and more deals getting done right now. Andrew says Nationals Park is a parking garage. It is. Yeah, it is. Terry says, you nailed it, Bill. If you live by draft and develop, why allow a prime example of a draft and develop guy to escape? When is the last time Green Bay had a back like Aaron Jones? It's been a long time. Long time. A guy that they drafted? It's been a while. Not like Aaron Jones. I mean, you can say when they got Ryan Grant off of the practice squad out of New York, he was really solid, but he had a shelf life. But with Aaron Jones, really, really, really solid. Yeah, I can't tell you the last time they drafted to develop a running back like that would be of that quality. Colonel Henry says, tired of the Packers not going all in. At one point, you just throw everything out there to see if it sticks to win a championship. I understand about being fiscally responsible for the future, but what future do you have once Aaron Rodgers is gone? People just need to get over this thing about keeping guys around for salary cap. Cut everybody that's dead weight and build for right now, not for the future. That's kind of what we've been saying. It's kind of what I've been saying. Uh, 877-867-1670 if you want to chime in, 877-867-1670. I apologize to those of you on the stream. I don't know what happened. When you said you didn't have sound, I looked over and it was still there, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if something cut out or not, but my apologies. So thanks for paying attention to us on the Bud Light stream all over God's creation. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad you are with us. Thanks so much for hanging out. Certainly appreciate it as always. Thanks to Chris listening to us in Madison. Also, Madison, who is listening to us in La Crosse. So thanks for hanging out there with us. And Jack wants to know when we're coming back to Viroqua. I want to get back there at some point here this summer. Love Viroqua. I love Viroqua in the summertime, and then love going back during Christmas because there's so many cool things, little shops and such out there that I love getting a kick out of going into and buying just knickknack stuff for the house. So good stuff. For those that did not know, the big breaking news coming out of the NHL today, the NHL and their games are now going to be on ESPN. Starting with the 2021-2022 season, ESPN and the NHL announced a 7-year deal returning hockey to ESPN for the first time since 2004. They're going to have 25 regular season games on ESPN or ABC, early round playoff games, and 1 conference final each year, 4 Stanley Cup Final Series on ABC, and more than 1,000 games per season streaming on ESPN Plus and Hulu and such, all going to be the home to 75 ESPN-produced exclusive telecasts per season. The deal also includes opening night games, the NHL All-Star Game and Skills Challenge and other special events. The NHL's out-of-marketing streaming package is also moving to ESPN Plus as a part of the subscription offering. So ESPN going all in on the NHL. That's including the international rights to Latin America, the Caribbean, and parts of Europe, also a part of the deal. And that'll all take place. There you go. ESPN. It's good for the NHL because the NHL will get more exposure. I like the fact that the NHL did stuff on I like that the NHL did a lot of stuff on NBC, which is great. It was over the air, but I don't think they got as much exposure consistently as they probably should have. But there you go. Back on ESPN. Let's go to the phone calls. Talk to our buddy Court in Whitewater. Court, how you doing today, buddy? What's going on?
Hey, good, Unit. Hey, it's great to have you back on. I missed you when you were up your little hiatus there. So
thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, as far as, should Aaron Rodgers restructure and what the Packers should do, I don't know. He should. He shouldn't. That's his call. No one knows what he really wants except him. But the thing I wanted to ask you is, what kind of situation would we be in right now, today, talking about franchise tags, everything, if they would have drafted Patrick Queen instead of Jordan Love? If they made that move, that defense is more solidified. You don't maybe have to look to do as much, and you may have the extra money for Aaron Jones to franchise tag him.
Boy, that's a great question. Because had they picked up Patrick Queen, you'd still be over the cap. So bringing him back might be of issue. Because right now, what's the most important thing this team needs that you would say has to be done in free agency?
Defense, linebacker, more than anything. They got to have somebody with some speed that can cover somebody.
I would agree with that. I think that's secondary. I think right now you got to find a veteran that's going to come in as a corner. Because Kevin King, if you don't bring Kevin King back, you got to find a veteran that's going to be able to cover, and somebody that doesn't have to be a number one, but maybe is on the backside of their career that could be a number two alongside Jair Alexander. That to me is where you got to spend your money and then let it trickle down. But I think that, and then up front next to Kenny Clark, I think you found something in Kamal Martin and Chris Barnes. I don't know that they're going to be able to cover, but I think they're pretty good linebackers, specifically getting better with the run. But if you bring in Patrick Queen, you're not talking about the linebacking position at all. You're talking about spending money either on the defensive front or in the secondary, both. But yeah, it makes things a lot different if you have Patrick Queen roving the middle. And Patrick Queen, who knows? Maybe he would have made that secondary even better. Not only Jair, but maybe he makes Kevin King better along the way as well.
I agree with that, and I'll let you go after this. But name me the last linebacker that the Packers had. Now, I know you had Clay for a while, but a linebacker that showed some toughness, that could put a pop into somebody and let them know that we were there. And I've talked to my buddies about this, and I think the last guy I can remember, and it's a while ago, was Desmond Bishop.
Yeah.
I mean, he could hit somebody and flat out knock somebody down. But since then, there has been no toughness in that linebacker position in Green Bay for a lot of years.
Yeah, they have not had that. I appreciate the phone call. I agree with you. I mean, you go back, God, Desmond Bishop, because Brad Jones looked like a badass, and he could play some serious linebacker in the preseason. And then in the regular season, it came up to be like, played like, looked like Tarzan, played like Jane, So Desmond Bishop played pretty well. But boy, the linebacking position. And they drafted Desmond Bishop, 2000 and I want to say 2006, 2007. Boy, the last linebacker they picked up prior to him, that really was a guy that wanted to hit you. I mean, Brady Papinga wanted to hit you, but he was not he just never developed into that guy. I like Brady, though. The other guy they wanted to be really good, they picked him up in the third round, remember, back in 2004? Hunter Hillenmeyer? I could be wrong on that, but God, you go back through the years. There was the Torrance Marshalls. 2003 with him. There was Torrance Marshall, Eugene McCaslin. Oof. You're right, Anthony Hicks. 1997. Boy, they have not had Brian Williams, third-round draft choice in 95. God, it's been a while. Wayne Simmons, 93. Been a while since they have not hit. Boy, how big as a choice would it have been to get Patrick Queen? You know what I mean? Think about it. Patrick Queen would have been your first middle linebacker since Moses was a baby. You could probably say Nick Barnett. Nick Barnett loved to hit. Nick Barnett was just an undersized guy. He was more speed. But since Moses was a baby, if you picked up Patrick Queen, it would have been an epic choice for Gutekunst, who would have hit on the first middle linebacker. You could say A.J. Hawk was good, more than serviceable. He just came with such a high expectation because of the draft choice placement. But Brian Gutekunst would have went down as the general manager in a long time that hit on a middle linebacker who wanted to beat the hell out of you. And instead you got the quarterback who's inactive. Oh, that just hurts. It just hurts. I don't know what else to say. It just hurts. It just does. Hey, our friends over at Quick Trip, you can got the take-home meals. Stop in. Use your Quick Rewards card for a chance to take home some cash, and you're good to go. $50,000 total. $50,000 is what they're giving away. $10,000 each week for 5 weeks. Quick Trip's take-home meals. They're freshly made, daily, delicious, and now they can bring you some cash along the way. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'm going to be grilling tonight, but during this tournament, I guarantee I'm going to forget to make some food. I'm going to have to go out and get one of them. It's right up the street. I'm going to go get me some. Take home one tonight. You could take home as well 10 grand in cash. No purchase necessary. See store for details. That's our friends at Quick Trip. Quick Trip, by the way, as we say time and again, the proud sponsor of this program, the official fuel and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. We wrap it up next on the Bill Michaels Show.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Well. Oh, boy. How about this? Welcome back to the program. Just about an hour ago. How about this? The Texas Rangers, citing Governor Greg Abbott's executive order permitting Texas businesses to fully open, have announced they will be 100% on opening day. Their new stadium, by the way, that Globe Life Stadium, beautiful. I mean, we were just talking about stadiums before. I have not been to it in person. It does have a retractable dome. Not like Miller Park's very unique. It's got that fan type of dome, and I love that. But most of them have that great big giant sliding roof. But Globe Life Field will have 40,518 fans for their April 5th home opener, according to the club. There's a 3-strike policy for fans, by the way. You do have to wear a mask, but 3 strikes before you're actually removed from the ballpark. The governor's mandate allows businesses to dictate their mandates, but Globe Life Field is now allowing full capacity. How about that? So now we'll see. For all of you that yell about super spreaders and all that kind of stuff, we'll see it. We'll see if Texas goes through a dramatic rise or not. But as more and more people become vaccinated, more and more people have had it, more and more herd immunity becomes more prevalent. But the Texas Rangers have announced they are going to full capacity. Torpedoes be damned. It's full speed ahead, my friends. So the first real glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel. There you go. Everything's bigger in Texas. Now we'll see if the immunity is bigger in Texas. There you go. How about that, huh? I can't wait for full capacity. I can't wait for people going crazy in the stands. I can't wait for all of that. I mean, I know some of you are unbelievably precautious, and I get it if that's what you choose to be. And if that's what you have to be because of some underlying condition. I get it. By the way, Jerry Jones went to the podium a little while ago and started speaking about Dak Prescott's deal. And as Jerry, in fine Jerry form is, cannot stop talking. He's ready to cry. He said he's overcome with emotions. I can't just stop myself. I was screaming into my pillow every night. Dak, 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 Dak. That's why Jerry Jones is up against the salary cap. That's why he's paying Ezekiel Elliott so much money. That's why he has not won a championship. Because Jerry Jones can't help but be Jerry Jones. How old is he now? He's got to be in late 70s, right? Got to Google him. Jerry's getting up there. Jerry Jones is 78. 78 years old. Jerry's starting to look at a little bit, but damn, he's still cranking for 78. I'll give Jerry all the credit in the world. He turned 78 in October. Will be 79. So kudos to Jerry Jones. Still kicking it, looking good, cruising around on that big yacht. having pillow fights with Mike McCarthy. So. Oh, man. Now, here we go. Now, during the press conference, Dak Prescott finally gets to talk. Dak, what is it like to be with Jerry? Let me answer that, Dak. With me, that's all great with me. Hanging out with me is great. I love being me. I love looking at myself while I'm reading myself magazine, working out by myself, screaming into my pillow at night. It's just me and myself. Me, myself, and I. We have some fights every now and then, but it's good. I'll do things to myself until I fire a restraining order against myself, but I love myself. So. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. That's great. So anyway, the big announcement today. Who cares? Yawn. There's a lot of money wrapped up in that suit and in that quarterback, and we'll see if they ever get there. Jacob says, by the way, Jacob listening to us in Tomahawk. Jacob says, hey, I heard you talking motorcycles earlier. Cannot wait for the fall ride. You're going to be coming up again this year? Yes, Jacob, I will be there. He says, when do you think Miller Park will be back to full capacity? I think honestly, I think that there's going to be a lot of people looking over the fence of Texas and saying, do you see a dramatic rise in COVID cases? If you don't, and you don't flood emergency rooms, then I think you're going to see a lot of states go, we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and open it up too. So all the politics aside, I think you're going to see states sooner rather than later. If Texas does not have some disaster awaiting them, you're going to see states start to open up. I mean, for so many reasons, just because. I mean, but obviously the number one, reason is economics. I mean, there's still I think they did a survey. I think they said 39% of Americans are still making less money or have less money now than they did a year ago because of the pandemic. Gas prices are on the rise. Now they're predicting over $3 on average within the next month for gas prices. Part of it's because of COVID. Part of it now the demand is up because people are getting back out of their houses now. The other part of it is just because they've slowed down international, supply. And we're more reliant on ourselves. And, I can get in all the politics of that, but so now where gas prices are going up, inflation's going to be starting to hit. I mean, all of this stuff's going to start to trickle down. You got to put people back to work. Got to get back out. So you're going to see just economically states wanting to open up because of that reason. But I think we'll follow Texas. If Texas doesn't have a massive outbreak, then I think it's going to be prevalent here. There you go. A couple things before we get out of here today. Again, there's many teams cutting players loose right now or restructuring deals. So you're going to hear something here in the next 48, 72 hours, something like that about the Green Bay Packers, almost certainly. So you're going to see Josh Hader, by the way, take the hill today at some point for the Brewers. Good to see him back out there. Brewers back at it today, taking on the A's in Cactus League play. So we'll give you the update tomorrow as we continue to talk some Brewers and get you ready for opening day. What else? I got so many things going on here. Cassidy wants to know, when do you think, I just said that. I don't mean to reiterate or repeat myself. When do I think you're going to see this? Well, you're probably going to see in the next 48, 72 hours, something happen for the Packers in terms of restructuring a few different deals. So, and then Jackie Bradley Jr. Spoke the other day, very competitive, feeling very good about the organization. This one's from Garcia, who says, I'm excited about this team and about the depth in the outfield. I think they're going to have a lot of offensive options. How much does this play into Craig Counsell's hands? I think that this, for what the Brewers have been doing and the way they've been managing baseball, I think having more pieces like this and the depth that they have, provided that they don't end up getting hit with a rash of injuries. And then if they do, they still have at least depth to deal with it. But the fact that you've got quality depth players and guys coming off the bench, I think it's fantastic. I really do. I think it's fantastic. So I'm excited for the Brewers. I'm excited. So we'll see what happens along the way, but I can't wait for baseball season to get here. We went through all the unsung heroes or the storylines to watch, if you will, for players out of USA Today. Pretty good article, but I think they might have missed the base a little bit, but went through all of that in the National League Central. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited. I can't wait for baseball to get here. I still think the Brewers are going to be fighting for the top spot. I still think they may come in second if I have to be a betting man at this point, but I don't put it out of the realm of possibility for the Brewers not only to win the National League Central, but to be competing in the NLC or in the NLCS. That's just my thought. Hey, great participation today from everybody. Not only on the Bud Light live stream, but phone calls today, emails today, everything. Really, really good stuff. Going to continue to try to put the studio here together, the Bud Light live stream studio. My thanks to everybody involved. And always is Ebo and Rowdy and everybody back in the studios producing the program and keeping us on the air. Thanks to them. So until we speak tomorrow, Dak Prescott's finally speaking, so Jerry Jones is at least being quiet for the time being. But if you really wanted some comedy relief, go watch and see how many times Jerry mentions himself. And that's a drinking game, and you'll be hammered in about 12 minutes. Until we talk again tomorrow, have a good one.